Chapter 189, Hubby, you're going viral online.
Seeing Lin Chen's expression, the young man gave an embarrassed smile and said, "Brother Lin, I really think that you have a good quality. If only I had a quality like yours."
Lin Chen nodded. I thank you. Young man, well. Brother Lin, I have something else to do, so I'll be going first.
After the young man left, Lin Chen searched on his phone. He watched a few videos and saw that there were indeed problems in the comment section. He had also watched it yesterday and there had been no such situation.
Moreover, such comments were concentrated after 10 p.m. There were also many such messages after midnight. This was not normal. Did the trolls all refuse to sleep at night? Which son of a bitch is blackmailing me?
Lin Chen muttered to himself.
He thought of Zhao Tianyu and the Wu family. The Zhao family must have hated the fact that they were kicked out of the Su group, but would they dare to vent their hatred? The Wu family was the most likely candidate.
Wu Haoyu was in prison, and he had benefited from the situation. The Wu family is definitely unhappy, and it is entirely possible that they are using such tactics to make him feel sick. However, it seems a bit melodramatic to just try to make him feel sick for now.
Does the Wu family have other intentions?
Lin Chen put himself in the Wu family's shoes. The Wu family knows that the Su family is helping me now, as well as some other forces.
For some reason, the Wu family is using such tactics to force me to reveal my hand?
Or maybe they want to use this to stir up public opinion, so that more people will pay attention, and maybe someone will expose some of my information. Lin Chen mused in secret.
Su Mengyao came over, hugging Lin Xiaoxi. Honey, are you okay? Lin Chen smiled, I'm fine. Someone just hired some internet trolls to attack me. Su Mengyao's eyes showed concern. Should I call Dad and let him handle the public relations?
Lin Chen shook his head, no need to go to all that trouble. I guess if we don't do anything, someone will take care of it for us.
ZUN community. Captain, we have a situation. There are a lot of people online blackmailing Lin Chen. Someone said on the walkie-talkie. Wang Jia, stop playing with your phone while you're working. Blackmailing Lin Chen?
A voice came over the walkie-talkie. Wang Jia said awkwardly, I just looked at it. A lot of people blackmailed Lin Chen for not being worthy of Su Mengyao.
Although the Su family is rich, Su Mengyao already has a child. There's no need to use such tactics to simply chase after Su Mengyao, right?
The team leader quickly checked it out.
Drip.
Confirming the existence of a water army, the team leader made a phone call.
Phone chime, what's wrong? The person answering the phone was still sleeping at this time. Meng team, there are water armies online blackmailing Lin Chen. We protect Lin Chen, do we manage this matter or not? Depending on the situation. Send me the relevant links.
Soon Feng Qing sent some links to the other party. On Taishan's side, Lin Chen and the others boarded the cable car going downhill.
Hey! Su Mengyao noticed that many comments blacking Lin Chen were gone. It was true that someone was helping Lin Chen.
She looked for some other videos and got the same result. There were others in the cable car.
Su Mengyao didn't say anything for the time being.
After getting off the cable car, she couldn't wait to say, Hubby, many comments blacking you are gone.
Lin Chen laughed, that's normal. The national security is secretly protecting him.
If only a small number of internet trolls are blackmailing him, perhaps the national security will not deal with it, but if there are too many people blackmailing him, the national security will most likely deal with it.
Dad, did someone say bad things about you?
Lin Xiaoqian asked. Lin Chen scratched Lin Xiaoqian's little nose. Xiaoqian, there are a lot of people in the world.
If someone doesn't like you and says bad things about you, are you sad? Lin Xiaoqian thought about it. Sometimes I am sad, and sometimes I am not. Why?
Lin Xiaoqian, I'm sad when my parents, grandparents, and other relatives don't like me.
I'm not sad when strangers don't like me.
Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoqian.
Xiaoqian, you're thinking correctly.
Now some strangers are saying bad things about Dad, but Dad won't be sad. Lin Xiaoqian nodded, they're really bad guys.
Dad, Mom, and I will always like you. Right, Mom? Su Mengyao smiled and said, of course, Mom and Dad will always like you too.
Sisai, if you encounter any problems in the future, Mom and Dad will help you.
MMM.
Lin Xiaoqian smiled sweetly. After going down the mountain, Lin Chen drove home after dinner. Lin Xiaoqian fell asleep not long after.
Hubby, who helped you? Su Mengyao asked curiously. Even if the Su family used their connections to handle it, it wouldn't be so fast.
Lin Chen pointed his right finger upwards.
Su Mengyao was stunned, but soon she realized, honey, has someone in the country noticed you? Isn't that normal?
Lin Chen laughed lightly.
Su Mengyao nodded.
Lin Yu is very skilled at calligraphy and is a top talent in the cultural field, so it is normal for the country to notice him. As long as the country investigates, it will be easy to find out who Lin Yu is.
Honey, let me check my phone.
Su Mengyao took out her phone and checked again.
Honey, there's something going on.
The video of your recent basketball game has been exposed. Previously, videos of the basketball game were also dug up.
Su Mengyao said.
Lin Chen, this exposure is not a big deal. In the past, when it was exposed, it only became slightly popular for a while. Su Mengyao flipped through the comments. Husband, I'm afraid this time the situation is different. A top domestic basketball star said that your level may have reached the level of a top star.
The related videos are not low in popularity.
Lin Chendao, as long as I don't respond and don't go play basketball, the heat will only last for 4 or 5 days at most.
It's not a big deal. Su Mengyao nodded slightly. She continued to browse Weibo and short videos.
Before long, Su Mengyao said again, honey, another basketball star said your level is extremely high. I'm afraid this heat won't subside in 4 or 5 days. Lin Chendao smiled lightly and said, it's good to be popular for a while. Although the army of internet trolls is gone, they have set a certain rhythm, and people can't think that I'm just good at physical strength.
Otherwise, people will think that's all you're good for. Su Mengyao. She gave Lin Chen a wide-eyed glance. Somewhere in the city.
Wu Yangfeng was in a 5-star hotel. He was puzzled.
Is Lin Chen really that good at basketball? Although being good at basketball is an advantage, how could such an advantage make the Su family help Lin Chen? Drip. Wu Yangfeng dialed Wu Yangqing's phone. Big brother, I got someone to do the dirty work of blackmailing Lin Chen. Wu Yangfeng said.
Wu Yangqing's face changed at the other end of the phone. Second brother, this is reckless.
What if someone finds out?
Wu Yangfeng said, Big brother, don't worry. I have a good relationship with this friend, and I asked him in private. As long as he doesn't tell anyone, no one will come looking for me.
He won't say anything. Wu Yangchang was slightly relieved. Are you sure he won't say anything? Wu Yangfeng, I'm sure.
This is not a serious crime, at most a fine and a few years in prison.
What good would it do him to turn me in?
Just then there was a knock on the door.
Who is it?
Wu Yangfeng asked as he reached for the door.
Chapter 190. Wu Yangfeng was arrested. The police are conducting a routine room inspection, please open the door.
The sound coming from outside the door made Wu Yangfeng's face turn pale.
Wait a minute, let me get dressed. Wu Yangfeng said. He quickly went into the bathroom.
Big brother, something's wrong. The police are conducting a room inspection, I don't know if it's because of me. Wu Yangfeng said in a low voice. Wu Yangfeng's face fell as he heard the other end of the line. He had a bad feeling, brother, calm down. The police checking the room may not be about this matter, so don't panic.
Besides, I don't know anything about this.
If you go in, I'll definitely do my best to find a way to get you out.
Wu Yangfeng, brother, I know. After hanging up the phone, Wu Yangfeng took a deep breath. He went to the door and opened it.
There were 4 police officers standing outside. Wu Yangfeng's face changed slightly. Normally, when the police come to check on a person, he knows there are only 2 of them.
Comrade policeman, I live alone. Wu Yangfeng said.
One of the policemen showed his ID. Wu Yangfeng, you hired internet trolls, which involved picking quarrels and provoking trouble and slander.
You also tried to get someone to break into your house. Please come with us.
Wu Yangfeng's face suddenly turned ugly. The person he had been looking for in front of him had actually been arrested by the police.
But why did the police take so long to make an arrest and not report back? And this time, why did his friend turn him in? Even if he were to go to jail for a few years, what good would it do to offend the Wu family because of this? Comrade policeman, please wait.
I still have things in the room, let me tidy up. Wu Yangfeng wanted to buy some time to think of a way out.
We'll watch you tidy up, so hurry up.
2 policemen were guarding the outside, and 2 more followed in, so Wu Yangfeng didn't have a chance to stall. Soon Wu Yangfeng finished packing.
Handcuff him and take him away.
The leading policeman said sternly.
Wu Yongfeng's face changed. Comrade policeman, I will follow you, so there is no need for handcuffs, is there? Please cooperate, or we will enforce it.
The leading policeman said uncompromisingly.
Click.
Soon, Wu Yongfeng was wearing silver handcuffs.
Wu Yongfeng was taken away from the hotel under the watchful eyes of some people.
His face looked terrible.
Come here. Against Lin Chen, how did you get yourself into it?
He had hired the water army a few times before, and it didn't turn out like this.
How would he know that the state security was involved behind this matter?
His friends sold him out very quickly in front of the state security. He had previously told them about the things he had hired the water army for. If you add up all the incidents, he'll probably get 5 years.
Wu family.
Wu Yongqing walked back and forth. His face was also very ugly. His son had not yet been released, and his younger brother might go to prison again.
If this kind of news got out, it would be a huge blow to the Wu family.
In the future, if other companies wanted to cooperate, they would have to think twice.
Wu Yongqing took out his phone. He was going to call someone from the Song family.
But after thinking about it, he didn't call for the time being. Maybe Wu Yongfeng was fine, and it would be better to find out the situation first.
Book a ticket to the demon capital.
Wu Yongqing sent a message to his assistant.
No matter what the situation is, he definitely has to go to the demon capital to take a look.
He didn't know anything about this matter, and even if Wu Yongfeng had to go to prison, this matter would not involve him. He went to the demon capital to calm Wu Yongfeng's emotions.
5 hours later, Wu Yongqing arrived in the downtown area of the demon city.
Lin Chen and the others were still on the road, but they were also getting closer to the demon city. Lin Xiaoqian had already woken up a long time ago. The three of them took turns singing, and the car was filled with laughter. Host, your singing skill has been upgraded to legendary level. The system's voice sounded in Lin Chen's mind.
Lin Chen's eyes lit up. Another legendary skill, not bad.
A lot of information flooded into Lin Chen's mind. At the same time, Lin Xiaoqian's singing talent also improved. Lin Xiaoqian's original singing talent was in the teens, and when Lin Chen reached the Grandmaster level, it was probably in her early 30s.
Now her talent may be slightly below 50. For ordinary people, this talent is very high.
After all, a talent of 60 can become a provincial leader.
Dad, I'll sing the next song. I feel like I can sing even better.
Lin Xiaoqian said confidently.
Okay.
Lin Chen said with a smile. Lin Xiaoqian quickly began.
Su Mengyao was stunned.
She had studied music and could clearly tell that Lin Xiaoxi's level had improved. Lin Xiaoxi was singing a children's song. After the song was over, Su Mengyao was certain that Lin Xiaoxi's level had really improved.
Husband, did you hear it? Su Mengyao asked. Lin Chen smiled and said, of course I heard it.
It seems that Xiaoxi has inherited some of my talent. However, her talent in this area is still not very outstanding. She can sing a little, but it's not her main area of development.
Su Mengyao easily accepted Lin Chen's explanation. What other reason could there be besides genetics? Honey, does Cici really have less talent for singing than for maths?
I don't think she's particularly talented in maths.
Su Mengyao said.
There's no doubt that Cici is more talented in maths.
Lin Chen said.
His math skills are now at the master level, not quite the grandmaster level yet, and Cici's talent hasn't improved yet. But Lin Xiaoqian's basic mathematical talent is over 40, and if it doubles, it could be close to 90.
Mom, you're singing.
Lin Xiaoqian said in a baby voice. Su Mengyao, Mom's throat doesn't feel well, we'll sing later, you let Dad teach you something else.
Cici, let's learn math. There were 3 ducks by the river, 5 ducks swam over, and 2 swam away. Su Mengyao glanced at Lin Chen. Can Lin Xiaoxi, who is so young, solve such a problem?
Lin Xiaoxi held up her small hand.
She carefully did the calculations. Daddy, is it 6 ducks? Su Mengyao's eyes lit up. Lin Chen continued to give Lin Xiaoxi problems.
Soon he began to gain experience in mathematics. It is worth mentioning that while he was driving, he also gained driving experience, and the two did not conflict.
Wu Yongqing sighed.
He arrived at the entrance of a police station, where a lawyer was waiting for him. This lawyer was not the original one.
Mr. Wu, I am Kai Siming.
The lawyer greeted Wu Yongchang. Wu Yongcheng shook his hand. Lawyer Kai, I have already told you about my brother's case, how confident are you? Kai Siming said, Mr. Wu, if it is just what you said, if the issue of active compensation is not very serious.
Wu Yongcheng nodded.
They entered the police station together. Wu Yongfeng was being held in this police station.
After some negotiation, Wu Yongcheng saw Wu Yongfeng.
Big brother. Wu Yongfeng saw Wu Yongcheng's bitter expression. Wu Yongcheng said in a deep voice, don't worry too much, even if there is a little more compensation, I will get you out.
Wu Yongfeng, my friend betrayed me.
He told them everything about my previous visits.
The people I sent to Lin Chen's house were also arrested. They also ratted me out. Wu Yongcheng.
When these are added up, I guess the state will definitely get its meal.
Chapter 191, Wu Yongcheng was dumbfounded.
Wu Yongcheng looked at the lawyer Kai Siming. Kai Siming asked, Mr. Wu Yongfeng, I need to know the specific circumstances so that I can defend you.
Wu Yongfeng nodded. He first talked about something that happened some time ago.
He hired someone to take a thief to try to break into Lin Chen's place and steal things. They have convicted me of 2 crimes, one is organizing theft, and the other is stealing trade secrets.
Kai Siming, did you ask them to steal trade secrets?
Wu Yongfeng, I asked them to copy everything on the computer and install a few more listening devices.
Kai Siming's mouth twitched.
The Su family has assets worth tens of billions of dollars, Lin Chen lives with Su Mengyao, and Wu Yongfeng asked someone to do this, so there is a good chance that he will not get away with the crime of stealing trade secrets.
Your people were arrested by Su Mengyao's bodyguards? Did they torture them for a confession? When did the police get in touch? Kai Siming continued to ask. Wu Yongfeng was silent.
Wu Yongcheng said, Second brother, you better hurry up and talk.
If you don't, how can lawyer Kai help you?
Mr. Wu Yongfeng, this is very important.
These things may be able to reduce your sentence at the time. Kai Siming reminded him.
Wu Yongfeng, they were arrested by the state security. After they were arrested, they quickly sold me out.
Kai Siming. If the state security arrested them, who else would they sell you to?
The nature of arrests by the police and the state security is very different.
Mr. Wu, you should find someone else. Kai Siming stood up and said. Wu Yongcheng's face changed slightly. Lawyer Kai, what do you mean? If you are not satisfied with the remuneration, we can talk again. Kai Siming, I'm sorry, I don't want to deal with the national security. Think about it yourself.
Wu Yongcheng frowned and said, Lawyer Kai, please be clear. He has never had anything to do with the national security either. Kai Siming said meaningfully, a thief came to the door, but instead he met the national security.
Isn't that a coincidence? If this isn't a coincidence, do you know what it means? Wu Yongcheng, the national security isn't that scary, is it? What are you worried about defending my brother normally? Kai Siming, what's scary is why the national security is there.
I'm afraid that your Wu family has kicked the iron plate this time.
President Wu, I'll refund your deposit.
Wu Yongcheng's face changed. He also realized the severity of the problem.
Why is the national security there? This is extremely terrifying when you think about it.
Lawyer Kai, please sign here.
Kai Siming went outside and someone spoke to him. Kai Siming's mouth twitched. Good guy, confidentiality agreement.
He had to keep strict confidentiality about what he had just learned, and if he divulged it, he would have to bear the corresponding legal responsibility.
Swish. Kai Siming quickly signed and left. Brother, what should we do?
Wu Yongfeng anxiously asked.
Wu Yongcheng remained silent.
After a while, he said, Second brother, you're too impulsive.
It's no coincidence that the national security people are there. Lin Chen must have an identity that we don't know about.
I will try my best to think of a way, but it may not work.
If you go in, you don't have to worry about what's going on outside.
Wu Yongfeng's face was extremely ugly.
So, he is going to be a state employee?
Second brother, it should only be a matter of a few years.
Don't be impulsive. You still have a long life ahead of you.
Wu Yongcheng reminded him with a hint of meaning. The Wu family is not particularly clean, and it would be bad if Wu Yongfeng revealed some of their secrets in his anger.
Wu Yongfeng nodded. Second brother, I'll go first then. I'll try to think of a way for you.
Wu Yongcheng said and got up and walked out. Like Kai Siming, he also signed a confidentiality agreement.
Alas!
Wu Yongchang sighed when he got out of the police station.
This time, he must have really stepped in it.
He didn't know what Lin Chen's identity was, but he actually had the national security around him.
Babies, don't be sad. Mommy is back.
Lin Xiaoqian went straight to her ragdolls as soon as she returned. She kissed one and hugged the other.
Cici, it's quite late, you need to go to bed. Su Mengyao said.
Lin Xiaoqian looked at Su Mengyao and said, Mom, I want to sleep with you and Dad, is that okay?
Su Mengyao said, Cici, that's not okay. We agreed before that you would sleep with us when you were older. It's fine to make do with just one bed for one night when you're away. She can't accept sleeping together at home yet.
When they sleep away from home, they wear clothes, but at home they wear pajamas that are close to the skin, so the situation is different. And if they sleep too much, it's likely that Lin Xiaoqian will roll over and they might end up hugging. It's not that she doesn't want to, but this could cause problems. The feeling of not being able to control her whole body is very uncomfortable.
Cici, go take a bath quickly. After you're done bathing, Daddy will read you a story.
Lin Shen said with a smile.
Lin Xiaoqian nodded quickly. Half an hour later, Lin Xiaoqian fell asleep.
Not long after, Su Mengyao came out of the shower.
She apologized, saying, Honey, it's not that I don't want to sleep with you. I'm afraid of what happened before.
Lin Chen walked up and hugged Su Mengyao, saying, Honey, I know.
You've improved a lot, but mental illness doesn't recover that quickly. You still need time. Honey, thank you. Su Mengyao hugged Lin Chen.
Her head was resting on Lin Chen's shoulder, and Lin Chen could smell the faint, sweet fragrance on her. After hugging for a while, Lin Chen said, Wife, you've been through a lot back and forth, so you should go to bed early too.
If I hug you any longer, I'll be the one who feels bad.
Su Mengyao nodded, and she kissed Lin Chen's face, cooing, Good night, honey, I love you.
Boo! Lin Chen also kissed Su Mengyao's beautiful face. Good night.
After taking a shower, Lin Chen sat in front of the computer. After updating 2 fairy tales, he opened his email. There were 3 unread emails in his mailbox, and these 3 unread emails were from 3 different people. The other parties were all big shots in different fields. One was in the field of materials, one was in the field of aero engines, and the other was in the field of structural mechanics. Lin Chen was not even a master in aircraft manufacturing skills, and in these fields he was now inferior to those big shots, but he won because his knowledge was very, very comprehensive.
He is now close to the master level in any aspect of aircraft manufacturing. Human energy is limited.
Those experts are very proficient in their own fields, but they don't know as much about the rest. This can lead to bias in their research.
It can even lead to mistakes.
Professor Liu, I have a shallow opinion on the question you raised.
Lin Chen answered. He finally answered the questions of the 3 bigwigs until midnight.
Thanks to the recent increase in paper airplane folding, his level has improved, otherwise it would have been difficult for him to answer some of the questions.
System, how many hours have I spent on airplane building skills? Lin Chen asked in his mind. System, host, currently 45 hours. There are still 5 hours left.
Lin Chen muttered to himself. He can improve a lot when he reaches the master level.
Chapter 192 Trouble from Exposure. The next day, Su Mengyao went to the company. After breakfast, Lin Chen took Lin Xiaoxi downstairs. The weather was getting hotter and hotter, and it was only a little cooler outside in the morning. Cici's father. Hello Lingu, can I interview you for a few words? Mr. Lin, will you go play in professional competitions?
Just as they got downstairs, some people who didn't know where to hide quickly emerged, and they swarmed towards Lin Chen and the others. Lin Xiaoxi was so scared that she clung to Lin Chen's legs. Lin Chen picked Lin Xiaoxi up and said, Everyone, you're scaring my daughter.
I'm just an ordinary basketball enthusiast, I won't participate in professional competitions. Don't waste your energy and time on me.
A self-media blogger said, Brother Lin, according to online information, you held your wife and daughter in your arms for more than an hour.
Why were you able to hold on for so long? Lin Xiaoxi's father, are you a stepson?
Another person asked loudly. Lin Chen frowned, everyone, no comment.
Please don't disturb us again, thank you. Lin Chen quickly returned upstairs with Lin Xiaoxi in his arms. Dad, those people are scary. Who are they? Lin Xiaoxi asked.
Lin Chen said, some of them are reporters, some are self-media bloggers, and some are just here for the fun of it. Sisai, I'm afraid we can't go downstairs for a while. He had thought that those people would not come so soon, and that the downstairs would be quiet, but he had not expected them to come already. Nowadays, whenever something happens, there are a bunch of people scrambling to create a buzz and attract traffic. That was why he had always hidden. He had seen a lot of news online.
When someone becomes famous, many people will gather in their hometown. Lin Chen suddenly thought of his parents. It was estimated that the location of his hometown had already been exposed, so would it be possible that some people had already gone to his hometown? DD.
Lin Chen called his mother. His mother, Chen Mei, answered the phone quickly. Son, I was just about to call you.
Early in the morning, some strangers appeared in the village and took pictures of our house.
They broke into all the houses under renovation.
Someone even took a picture of us with their phone.
Your father shouted at them not to enter the house, but they didn't listen.
Lin Chen frowned. Mom, what's going on now?
Chen Mei said helplessly, I hid out.
Construction on the house stopped today.
The workers can't work, and your father is in the house persuading those people to leave.
But I don't think it will work. Just now your father messaged me that there are even more people.
Lin Chen thought for a moment and said, Mom, you and Dad go to the county.
No one should know about that house.
I'll take Cece and go hide there for a few days.
Chen Mei's eyes lit up. You're bringing Cece here? There are also some people gathered downstairs.
But they can't come upstairs, and our situation is better. Lin Chen said sadly.
Chen Mei said, then we'll go over there right now. We haven't been there for a week, and we need to go over there early to clean up. Are you and Shishi coming in the afternoon? I'll ask Meng Yao.
If she's free, we'll come together tomorrow, and if she's not free, I'll bring Shishi today.
Lin Chen said. Okay. Son, will the family be okay when we leave?
Lin Chen, Mom, once you guys leave, those people will leave after a while because they're just chasing the hot news.
Okay. After hanging up the phone, Chen Mei quickly told Lin Hai.
The two of them hailed a car, and the car was waiting for them to leave.
Wife, bring some masks with you.
Lin Hai reminded her.
Okay.
Soon they got into a car and left. Many of the people who had run over had driven, but when they tried to chase after Lin Hai and the others and leave, some of them stopped the cars. By the time those people stopped the cars, Lin Hai and the others had disappeared.
Honey, is something wrong? I was in an important meeting and couldn't answer the phone, Lin Hai said. It's been half an hour, Su Mengyao said, calling back.
Lin Hai told her what had happened.
Su Mengyao thought for a moment, I'll be busy in the next few days, so I'm afraid I won't be able to go with you and Cece. Honey, why don't you take Cece back to see your parents? Oh, by the way, do you have any reservations for your private kitchen lately?
Lin Chen said, Mr. Chen has a reservation. I just contacted Mr. Chen and it has been postponed until next week.
Let's wait until the heat of this matter has died down. That's good. Don't worry about me, honey.
I'll go back to my parents' place after work.
The community is strictly managed and outsiders can't get in. Su Mengyao said. Su Guofeng's community has very few people and is easy to manage.
Although the UN community is an upscale community, there are quite a few people living there, and it's not comparable to those villa communities.
Lin Chen wasn't too worried about Su Mengyao.
Su Mengyao was the boss of a group and was a public figure. This situation would affect him and Lin Xiaoxi, but it wouldn't have much of an impact on Su Mengyao. In fact, it might even be beneficial for her to be exposed occasionally. Honey, you guys take your own plane, because if you take a commercial flight, you might get recognized.
It might be a bit too late in the morning, but you should be able to go in the afternoon. Su Mengyao said. Okay.
After hanging up the phone, Su Mengyao quickly made arrangements for a 2:30 p.m. flight, just in time for them to have lunch and be there by then.
Shishi, we can't go out and play. What do you want to do at home? Daddy will listen to you. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi. Lin Xiaoxi, Daddy, we'll practice martial arts.
We haven't practiced martial arts today, and I want to get stronger.
Practice martial arts? Shishi, are your legs still sore? Lin Chen asked.
Lin Xiaoxian, Daddy, it hurts a little, but I'm not afraid, I'm a brave baby hee.
That's fine.
Lin Chen smiled. After practicing martial arts, Lin Chen played with Lin Xiaoxian's Dr. Toy.
Xin Qing's home. She was bored in brushing short videos. Lin Chen and Su Mengyao together profit inventory.
Xin Qing brushed to such a video. Profit 1, a set of high-end residential buildings in Ziyuan community, with a market value of about 12 million. Profit 2, a set of shops outside Ziyuan community, with a market value of about 5 million. Profit 3, 2 luxury cars, a Lamborghini Aventador and a bulletproof version of the Range Rover, worth more than 20 million in total. Profit 4, a villa under construction in his hometown, worth 3 million.
Xin Qing's brow furrowed after watching it.
Although the video author did not say it explicitly, Lin Chen guessed that he had to marry into the family to obtain these benefits.
Mengyao, take a look at this.
Xin Qing forwarded the video to Su Mengyao. Su Mengyao happened to be free at the moment, so she clicked on the video.
After watching the video, she was very annoyed.
Those things, the bulletproof version of the Cullinan, were a birthday gift from her father, but the rest were all obtained by Lin Chen through his own hard work.
Lin Chen did not marry into the Su family. Drip. Su Mengyao called Lin Chen. Honey, I forwarded a video to you. There are some comments online, so don't take it personally. Let me see. After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen quickly watched it.
His heart was unmoved. Not to mention that he wasn't a stepson, even if he was, with such good conditions, coupled with Su Mengyao's appearance, even if Lin Xiaoxi wasn't biological, countless people would be happy.
Chapter 193, Aircraft Manufacturing Skills Upgrade. Everyone is just being nosy.
Whether I marry into the family or not, and how much I get, is none of your damn business. Lin Chen muttered to himself.
Honey, can I ask Dad to clarify something? Su Mengyao called back. Lin Chen said, Honey, there's no need.
The more these onlookers engage with them, the more excited they get.
Ignore them, and they'll disperse in no time. Honey, why are they so idle?
Su Mengyao expressed her incomprehension.
Lin Chen, a lot of people are empty and boring.
There are a lot of people watching videos of Adbo giving away bananas, mending donkey hooves, and fishing.
Let's just ignore them.
Su Mengyao, honey, you and Cici be careful on the road. Also, buy your parents more gifts. Lin Chendao, honey, I plan to give my parents 10 million yuan.
It's better for them to save it themselves and feel at ease. You should give it to them, honey. Su Mengyao said.
Lin Chendao, the 10 million yuan donation has all been deposited, and the Shishi Charity Foundation is almost ready to go.
It won't be long before it officially starts operating. Lin Chendao donates 10 to 30 million yuan every year. Giving 10 million yuan to his parents is only right.
For Lin Chen, this is also no burden at all. His card now has a huge amount of cash of more than 200 million.
Wife, I'll give it to them when I get back.
I've told them before, but they didn't agree, so I'll talk to them properly when I see them.
Lin Chen said. Hubby, I have something else here.
After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen checked the rest of the videos.
There were not just 1 or 2 bloggers who were following their business. These people were like hungry wolves chasing after hot topics.
Suddenly, Lin Chen came across an official announcement. The announcement stated that Wu Yangfeng had been arrested for buying online trolls, that some members of online troll organizations had also been arrested, and that many troll accounts had been blocked during the crackdown.
That was fast.
Lin Chen muttered to himself.
With this official announcement, the heat will definitely die down, the platforms will limit the flow of traffic, and the number of bloggers doing this will greatly decrease.
Naturally, there will be fewer onlookers.
At 4:30 p.m., the plane landed. Lin Chen and Lin Xiaoxi got off the private jet.
Mr. Lin, President Su arranged for me to come and pick you up.
Thank you for your hard work. Lin Chen and Lin Xiaoxi got into the car. 2 hours later, Lin Chen and Lin Xiaoxi arrived in the county seat. Grandpa, Grandma.
Lin Xiaoxi exclaimed happily when she saw Lin Hai and Chen Mei.
Cici, my dear.
Chen Mei joyfully picked up Lin Xiaoxi in her arms.
Cici, I've missed you so much. Did you have fun in Taishan?
Lin Xiaoxi nodded, saying that Taishan was a lot of fun, and that her father could hold both her and her mother at the same time, and that he was a strong man.
Cici, let Grandpa give you a hug.
Lin Hai used his uninjured hand to hug Lin Xiaoxi.
Grandpa, is your hand better? Lin Xiaoxi asked in a baby voice. Lin Hai smiled and said, it's almost better. Cici, come here with Daddy. Did you encounter any trouble on the way? No. Lin Xiaoxi said.
Lin Chen, the property management has driven those people away, and we came here by private jet, so we didn't come into contact with anyone on the way, and no one saw us.
Dad, is everything okay at home?
Lin Hai nodded. We've left, and many of those people have left too, so construction can probably start normally tomorrow. We need to get the renovations done as soon as possible so that the house can be aired out.
Chen Mei smiled and said, let's eat first. Sisai, Grandma's cooking isn't as delicious as your father's.
Grandma, I'm not a picky eater.
Picky eaters aren't good children. Lin Xiaoxi said.
Soon Lin Chen and the others washed their hands and ate.
Chen Mei looked at Lin Xiaoxi and said, Xiaoxi, can you eat? If you can't eat, I'll ask your father to cook 2 more dishes. Lin Xiaoxi giggled and said, Grandma, I can eat.
Grandma, the dishes you cook are better than Mom's dishes.
2 days passed in the blink of an eye.
Lin Chen and the others had not gone out at all during these 2 days, and there was enough food in the refrigerator for Lin Chen and the others to eat for 3 or 4 days. The online buzz had greatly subsided. Every day there are hot topics, and there are more than one. The netizens simply will not pay attention to one thing for a long time. Host, your aircraft manufacturing skills have reached the master level. The system voice suddenly sounded in Lin Chen's mind. It turned out that there was a difference of 5 hours, and on the way the plane was flying over, Lin Xiaochen learned some time. In the past 2 days, Lin Chen also taught her to fold paper airplanes every day. A massive amount of information quickly flooded into Lin Chen's mind. Aircraft manufacturing technology is difficult to upgrade, and there are many benefits to upgrading. A few minutes passed, and with the help of the system, Lin Chen digested and integrated this information, and his experience in many areas was upgraded to the level of a master. With master-level aircraft manufacturing skills, as long as I have all kinds of equipment, I can now completely build an aircraft. Lin Chen muttered to himself. The knowledge he had gained was too comprehensive. The depth of knowledge of master-level skills was also very high. The most advanced aircraft was not possible for the time being, but the next level, as long as he had the equipment, he could really make it. But this was just something he would think about. Even if he had the ability, he would not waste time on it. He would take care of the baby and solve some problems behind the scenes, and then easily make money by mastering some patents in the future. Shishi, you play for a while by yourself. Dad has something to deal with at work. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi and said. Chen Mei came over. Son, you go ahead, I'll take care of Xiaoxi. Okay. Lin Chen went to the study, where there was a computer. Academician Chen, I have a different opinion about one of your papers. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. Lin Chen sent an email to an academician. He had read one of Academician Chen's papers before and didn't find any problems at the time, but now that he has reached the level of a master, he has discovered the problems in Academician Chen's paper. A figure at the level of Academician Chen, his papers, suggestions, etc., will have a huge impact on the country. It may take burning hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars of funding to find the problem. The development of science and technology is like searching for the right path in a maze, but the country is not wealthy, so every penny counts. Popping. Lin Chen's phone was tapping away furiously on the keyboard. After 2 or 3 hours, Lin Chen finally sent the email. A top research institution. Chen Guoxiang's brow was furrowed, and the experiment had failed again. This was the 13th experiment, and each time they had spent millions of dollars. They had accumulated a lot of experience from their mistakes, but there was still no sign of light at the end of the tunnel. You guys collect the data. Chen Guoxiang ordered. He returned to his office with his brow furrowed. Why did it fail? Is there something wrong with my theory? Chen Guoxiang muttered. But his theory had been checked in detail by himself and was fine, and some other experts had also found no problems with it. There was a gap between theory and reality. Chen Guoxiang knew this very well. But every time millions of dollars were burnt in an experiment, he felt very distressed. This was all state funding, and if it was burnt, a fighter jet might just be burnt for nothing. Academician Chen, you have new email. Chen Guoxiang's assistant reminded him from inside the office. HM. Chen Guoxiang nodded. He quickly opened the new email. Huh? Chen Guoxiang froze when he saw the beginning. Someone had actually pointed out that there was a problem with his theory. Chen Guoxiang quickly read it carefully. Chapter 194, Grandmaster of Mathematical Skills. After carefully studying it, Chen Guoxiang looked grave. What the other party said seemed to be reasonable. However, what the other party said involved many fields. He felt that what the other party said was reasonable, but it was still necessary to conduct joint research and discussions to see if what the other party said was true. However, it would be difficult to obtain results from joint research and discussion in a short period of time. He was only good at a few of these fields, and the other academicians and experts were also only good at a few fields, and some people even specialized in just one field for their entire lives. Perhaps he could conduct direct experiments to verify it. Chen Guoxian muttered to himself. He could assume that what the other party said was correct, and directly apply this theory to their experiments. Even if the experiment still failed, they would have obtained data. However, if it failed once, it would be a loss of millions again. Drip. Chen Guoxiang dialed a phone call. Yang, I have a favor to ask. Someone sent me an email to my mailbox, and I need to confirm whether the person who sent the email is in the clear. The email address is. Chen Guoxiang spoke. Academician Chen, I will get back to you as soon as possible. Yang said hastily at the other end of the phone. After hanging up, Yang quickly set about investigating. He found out that the email address belonged to Lin Chen, but when he tried to check Lin Chen's details, the internal system even prompted him that he did not have sufficient permissions. I don't have sufficient permissions? Yang Juju's eyes showed surprise. He was not a director, but his unit was special, and his level as a deputy director was not low, so his query permissions were very high. Director Dong, there is a situation. Yan Juju arrived at the office of the person in charge of their unit. Let me take a look. Director Dong checked it himself. He quickly found the result. Lin Chen's identity was classified as S-level secret, and Yang Juju only had level A permissions and could not find it. He had level S permissions and could view it just fine. Lin Chen, male, 25 years old. Pseudonym Lin Yu, world-class fairy tale king, top calligrapher, painter, chef, and basketball player. Good at aerodynamics, fluid mechanics, materials science, electronics, mechanics, mechanical engineering, etc. Note, Lin Chen is a national treasure-level genius and enjoys national security protection. Dong Shuji was shocked after reading it. He knew Lin Yu, and Lin Yu was only 25 years old, and he knew so much, which was really genius. Dong Shuji, do you have any results? Yang Shuji asked. He waited nearby, but didn't look at the computer. His authority was insufficient, and there were some things that he might not be allowed to see. Director Dong pondered for a while and said, I can't tell you the specific information about the other party, but there is no problem with their identity. They are the country's top talent. Yan nodded. He quickly left and returned to his office. Academician Chen, the other party has a very high confidentiality level, I can't find out. After checking, the director said, the other party is the country's top talent, you can trust them. Yang dialed Chen Guoxiang's phone and said. Okay. Chen Guoxiang was surprised. The other party's security clearance was so high. After hanging up the phone, Chen Guoxiang made up his mind, let's give it a try. Gathering many experts to discuss it together would be a waste of time, and the discussion would also require some data. Academician Lin, I would like to conduct an experiment and have a few questions. I would also like to ask Academician Lin for some guidance. Chen Guoxiang asked Lin Chen some questions. Lin Chen was teaching Lin Xiaoxi to play a game when a pop-up appeared in the lower right corner, informing him that he had received a new email. Cici, that's enough for today. Lin Chen said to Lin Xiaoqian. Lin Xiaoqian looked at Lin Chen pitifully, Daddy, can we play a little longer? I like playing with the little monsters. Lin Chen shook his head. Cici, you can only play for a little while every day. You go and play with your grandparents for now, Daddy has something to do. Daddy will come and keep you company after work. Okay. Lin Xiaoxi wanted to play again, but she didn't argue. Lin Xiaoxi left the study, and Lin Chen opened his email. Academician Lin. Lin Chen's expression became strange. When did he become Academician Lin? It's strange, and sounds good. Academician Chen, I can't give you any pointers. I'll just give my opinion, Academician Chen, for your reference. It took an hour for Lin Chen to answer the other person's questions. Ding. Chen Guoxiang received an email. He was still studying Lin Chen's previous response in front of the computer when he saw this new email, and immediately clicked on it. He had answered everything. Chen Guoxiang's eyes revealed a look of shock. If Lin Chen wasn't part of a team, and was able to give such a quick response, then Lin Chen's level was quite high. It took Chen Guoxian quite a while to read through it.
He clarified some questions that he wasn't sure about.
The next thing he needed to do was conduct new experiments to verify whether Lin Chen's theory was correct.
That night, Lin Xiaoqian went to sleep. Dad, Mom, I have something to tell you. I'll transfer 10 million yuan to you tomorrow. You should keep it yourselves. You'll feel more secure with money in your account.
Lin Chen stayed with Lin Hai and the others and watched TV. Lin Hai shook his head. No need to transfer money to us. We still have quite a bit of the money you gave us left.
We can't spend much money in the countryside anyway.
Chen Mei also said, Son, you and Meng Yao have already gotten married, and you have your own little home. If you take care of your own little home, your father and I will feel at ease.
Lin Chen took out his phone. He clicked on the bank text message. Dad and Mom, take a look.
Lin Hai and the others saw the bank text message.
The balance showed that Lin Chen had more than 200 million yuan in his account. Selena had already given him the royalties from the 4th book.
Dad and Mom, I've already spoken to Meng Yao, and she has no objections, nor will she.
It is only right that I, as a son, show my filial piety to you.
If you don't do well, it will affect us, and people will stab me in the back.
Lin Chen persuaded. Hearing Lin Chen say this, Lin Hai nodded.
Son, we'll accept this money. Don't give us money in the future, we can't spend all this.
Lin Hai said.
Lin Chen, Dad, don't be too stingy, buy what you need. If someone asks for a loan, be careful. It's not that you can't lend money, but you have to consider their character and relationship.
Don't lend money out and get angry with yourself.
Lin Hai and Chen Mei nodded. Lin Chen didn't say much. His parents were not the kind of good-for-nothing people who would lend money to others recklessly when they had money.
2 more days passed. Shi, you made a mistake. Dad will explain it again, and you think carefully about where you went wrong.
Lin Chen taught Lin Xiaoxi math. A system voice suddenly sounded in Lin Chen's mind. Host, your math skills have reached the Grandmaster level. A large amount of math information quickly flooded into Lin Chen's mind. There are definitely less than 10 Grandmasters in the world, and he has reached the Grandmaster level, which means he must be in the top 10 in the world in terms of math.
Dad, is it 23? Lin Xiaoxi asked. Lin Chen asked, Cici, how did you calculate that? Lin Xiaoqian was stunned. Dad, I don't know. I didn't calculate it, I just feel it's 23.
Lin Chen's face revealed a faint smile.
Lin Xiaoqian's mathematical talent has soared.
Her basic talent must have been 40 or so, and now it has doubled, so her mathematical talent will not be much less than 90.
Super talent will bring super mathematical intuition. This is a realm that even academic prodigies cannot reach. Chapter 195 Lin Chen, I am Woyang City. It is rumored that a mathematics professor at a top university once said, some students who scored 150 points in the college entrance examination in mathematics were so arrogant that they dared to apply to the mathematics program at Peking University. This is a bit of an exaggeration, but it does reflect to some extent that it is difficult to pursue a career in mathematics. It really does require talent. Isn't the mathematics in the college entrance examination difficult?
Yes, but those who are truly top in mathematics are directly admitted without taking the exam. The final question in the college entrance examination is just the easiest of the competition questions they have done before.
When pushed, some people can do anything, except math problems. Dad will give you another problem. There are chickens and rabbits in the same cage.
There are 12 more chickens than rabbits, and they have a total of 114 feet.
How many of each are there? Lin Chen asked.
His question was much more difficult than the previous one. Lin Xiaoqian has only briefly studied numbers above 100.
Dad, 27 chickens? 15 rabbits.
Lin Xiaoxi said without much thought. Lin Chen secretly licked his lips. It was true that she had a strong talent. When he was a child, questions like this could stump him for a long time.
Lin Xiaoxi could give the answer straight away.
For a top academic prodigy like her, the difficulty of this kind of question was probably about the same as 2 plus 3 equals how many?
Calculations? Non-existent.
Luckily my math skills have improved, and Xiaoxi has improved too, otherwise I wouldn't be able to teach her. Lin Chen muttered to himself.
Am I right, Dad? Lin Xiaoqian asked. Lin Chen patted Lin Xiaoqian's little head, you're right. Xiaoqian, you've worked hard and become even better. You'll get even better in the future. Dad, teach me again. I think math is even more interesting now.
Lin Xiaoqian said hopefully. Soaring talent Lin Xiaoqian's interest in math also increased. Her curiosity made her want to explore the world of math.
Okay, as long as you want to learn, Dad will teach you.
Lin Chen said with a smile. Time passed by minute, and Lin Chen felt a lot of emotion. Lin Xiaoxi's previous talent in mathematics was over 40, which was considered pretty good among ordinary people. She was able to learn simple addition and subtraction when she was just over 2 years old. But compared to now, it was worlds apart. Lin Xiaoxi used to be at the level of a genius in her class. Now her talent is already at the top level in the country.
Half an hour passed. Dad, are you not going to teach anymore? Lin Xiaoxi asked. Lin Chen stood up. That's enough for today. We haven't been out much these past few days. Dad is taking you out to play. Your main task right now is to have fun. You're still too young to go sightseeing. Remember that hill over there? Let's go hiking. Lin Xiaoqian's eyes lit up. She had been feeling a bit pent up these past few days. In the past, Lin Chen would take her outdoors unless she was sick. Half an hour later, Lin Chen and the others were hiking. You're Lin Go, and you're Chen Chen?
There were some other people climbing the mountain, and some of them recognized Lin Chen and his friends.
Yes.
Lin Chen smiled. They chatted for a while and then they parted ways. In a few days, the enthusiasm for Lin Chen and his friends had already subsided. If Lin Chen and his friends were still very popular, other people might be very interested and take out their phones to take pictures of them and post them on Douyin, which might become a hit.
Right now, there is simply no traffic for related topics. It's like filming in vain.
After climbing the mountain, Lin Chen took Lin Xiaoxi shopping again.
Many people recognized them, but not many people gathered to watch. Ordinary people just eat the melon online. In reality, many of the enthusiastic onlookers are not ordinary people. Many of them eat this for a living. Hotspots and traffic for them are money. CC, do you miss your mommy? Lin Chen asked.
Now that the situation is like this, they can go back to the demon capital.
Lin Xiaoqian nodded repeatedly. Daddy, I miss mommy. Daddy, when are we going back? Lin Chen thought for a moment. We'll go back tomorrow. We won't tell mommy first, we'll surprise her. Lin Xiaoqian nodded.
Time passed quickly, and the next day Lin Chen and the others boarded the plane.
Lin Chen and the others didn't take a private jet on the return trip.
Some people at the airport recognized Lin Chen and the others. But it didn't cause a crowd. There are so many online hot topics these days, it's impossible to keep up with them all. Of course, if Lin Chen revealed himself to be Lin Yu, the situation would be different.
That would be sustained influence. Lin Yu has so many fans. Dad, isn't it cool?
On the plane, Lin Xiaoqian played with wooden building blocks.
She was too young for the tiny Lego blocks. It's cool. But it can be even cooler.
Lin Chen patiently taught Lin Xiaoqian as he said. He bought this set of building blocks after his aircraft building skills reached the master level, which he obtained the day before. It only took 10 hours to reach master level in building skills, and he already had 3 or 4 hours of experience. He would have no problem building a fairy tale house for Lin Xiaoxi.
Magic City, Su Group. The president, Mr. Wu Yangcheng of the Wu family, would like to see you. Su Mengyao's assistant said. Su Mengyao's brows furrowed slightly.
The words Wu family and Wu Yangcheng both evoked bad memories for her. But compared to the past, things are better now. In the past, when she heard people talk about the Wu family, she would get a headache, and the chances of having nightmares at night would greatly increase. Fortunately, she ran away after Wu Haoyu drugged her, and she was spared from Lin Chen.
And now, life is very happy. Tell him that I won't see him.
Su Mengyao said coldly.
Okay. The assistant replied to Wu Yangcheng. Wu Yangcheng frowned. He went to the Su family.
Su Yangfeng did not see him, and he was rebuffed.
He came to the Su group to see Su Mengyao, but Su Mengyao also did not see him.
In the past few days, he has found several lawyers, but knowing the specific situation, none of them wanted to defend Su Yangfeng. In the end, he could only find a lawyer who was almost powerless and short of money, and after promising to pay a lot of money, the other party finally agreed. That lawyer's opinion was to let Lin Chen and the others let go. If Lin Chen and the others don't pursue this matter, and if they can show that there were no trade secrets at all in the family, the sentence will be reduced, possibly to less than 3 years.
The current situation is most likely 5 years. The Su family, humph. Wu Yongqing's face fell. He didn't really want to beg, but for the sake of his younger brother, he had to come, only to be shut the door in his face. Uncle, look. Wu Yunhui, Wu Yangfeng's son, handed him a mobile phone. Ha! Wu Yongqing's eyes lit up.
Someone took a picture of Lin Chen at the airport an hour ago, and at this time, he is most likely on a flight to the Devil City. Find out which flight Lin Chen is taking.
Wu Yongqing ordered.
Okay. Soon, Wu Yunhui found out.
Go to the airport. Let's go find Lin Chen directly. Wu Yongqing ordered.
Okay. Wu Yunhui nodded and quickly drove to the airport. More than an hour later, Lin Chen and the others got off the plane. Wu Yongqing and Wu Yunhui were waiting at the exit, and when they saw Lin Chen and the others come out, Wu Yongqing and the others quickly walked up to them.
Lin Chen, I'm Wu Yongqing.
Wu Yongqing held out his hand and said.
Chapter 196 Wu Yongqing, Doctor, I really wasn't injured? Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. Wu Yongqing? He smiled and shook Wu Yongqing's hand. Wu of the Wu family. I have long admired your name. Nice to meet you. Wu Yongqing's face instantly turned red.
Lin Chen's fingers transmitted a terrible force, and this force was so strong that Wu Yongqing almost couldn't help but scream.
President Wu, I often hear Uncle Su and the others talk about you and your family, the Wus. Your family is very powerful.
Lin Chen chatted with Wu Yongqing, his hand holding it, and the force kept increasing. He was a master of ancient medicine and a grandmaster of Western medicine, and he knew a lot about the structure of the human body. He knew exactly how to make Wu Yongqing feel pain without being able to detect any injury.
Wu Yongqing endured the pain. His first reaction was actually to shake Lin Chen off and tell him to let go, but he quickly thought of a point, that he might be able to use this to blackmail Lin Chen.
3 seconds, 5 seconds. Lin Chen and the others held hands tightly, with a tacit understanding.
Wu Yunhui gradually saw that something was wrong.
Lin Chen and his uncle had been shaking hands for a little too long.
Uncle, let's go somewhere else to talk. Wu Yunhui said with a light cough. Lin Chen let go of Wu Yongqing.
During the handshake, he had controlled some internal energy and sent it into the meridians in Wu Yongqing's palm. This internal energy would continue to stimulate his meridians. And it would be most powerful at night.
Mr. Wu, let's talk some other time. You see, I'm still holding CC, so it's not convenient today. How about we meet tomorrow and have a good chat?
Lin Chen said with a smile. Wu Yongqing hid his right hand behind his back. His right hand trembled slightly, and some parts of this hand were white from being squeezed, while some parts were dark red, and the pain was still very intense.
Okay, let's talk again tomorrow.
Wu Yongqing said in a deep voice as he took a deep breath.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Wu. Lin Chen walked away with a smile on his face while hugging Lin Xiaoxi. Lin Xiaoxi said in a baby voice, Daddy, are they bad guys? CC, how do you know? Lin Chen asked with a smile. Lin Xiaoxi, Dad, you didn't tell me to call them.
CC, they really are bad guys.
But you don't need to be afraid, Dad will protect you. Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi. Lin Xiaoxi nodded, Dad is the best.
It wasn't long before Lin Chen and the others got into a taxi. They took a taxi home first. Then they drove to the company to pick up Su Mengyao from work. Wu Yongqing and the others went to a large hospital.
Mr. Wu, your hand is fine.
The doctor told him after examining the CT scan Wu Yongqing had taken.
Wu Yongqing questioned, Fine? Doctor, how can it be fine?
I still feel a lot of pain in my hand.
The doctor carefully examined the CT scan again. Mr. Wu, judging from the results, your hand is indeed fine. Wu Yongqing, Doctor, this doesn't even constitute a minor injury? Doctor. Not even a minor injury. Mr. Wu, don't worry, there is nothing wrong with your hand. Wu Yongqing's face was a mess.
He felt pain and itching in his hand. It felt like there were worms biting inside his palm.
Uncle, let's see another doctor. Wu Yunhui reminded him.
Wu Yongqing left the ward. He used his connections to get an old expert to contact him. The old expert also worked at the same hospital.
Mr. Wu, don't worry. There is nothing wrong with your hand.
The old expert said after reading the CT scan and then examining Wu Yangqing's hand. Wu Yangqing said, "Doctor, but I still feel a lot of pain in my hand.
I want to have an MRI scan to have a second opinion." "There is no need for that. But if you insist, I will prescribe one for you." The old expert told someone to take Wu Yangqing through the queue.
The hospital leaders had said that they should be taken care of as much as possible.
Not long after, the results came out.
"Mr. Wu, the MRI results also show that your hand is fine, so you can rest assured."
The old expert comforted after reading the MRI results. Wu Yangqing.
"The results are fine, but he really does feel pain."
"Thank you, doctor." Wu Yangqing took a deep breath and said.
He left this hospital and headed to another hospital, where the doctor still said after reading the results that there was nothing wrong with him.
"Doctor, could it be that there is something wrong with the equipment at this hospital? Should I have another scan at your hospital?" Wu Yangqing asked.
The doctor shook his head. "No, as far as I know, the equipment used at both hospitals is the same model.
And our equipment is state-of-the-art."
Wu Yangqing's face looked terrible. He went to see a traditional Chinese medicine doctor again. After seeing him, several old traditional Chinese medicine doctors all said that he was fine.
"Uncle, are you pretending on purpose?
Go to a few more places, and then fake a painful appearance. This way, it will be easier to find Lin Chen's fault."
Wu Yunhui couldn't help but ask.
Wu Yangqing scowled. "I'm not faking it, my hand hurts, it must have been crushed by that bastard Lin Chen. I was going to get hurt a little and use the results to blackmail Lin Chen, but I didn't expect it to be undetectable.
These quacks.
The doctor said he wasn't hurt, so there's nothing we can do."
"Uncle, let's wait until we see Lin Chen tomorrow."
Wu Yunhui said, "The Su family is powerful, but Lin Chen comes from a humble background. Even if he knows a big shot, he has to weigh the consequences of offending us."
Wu Yangqing nodded. "Let's find a proper massage parlor and get a good massage." In the evening, Lin Chen and the others arrived at the Su group. "Mom."
Lin Xiaoqian ran happily towards Su Mengyao.
"Cici, why did you come back so quietly?" Su Mengyao said in surprise.
Lin Xiaoqian, Dad said he wanted to give you a surprise. Mom, I really missed you, both Dad and I really missed you.
Mom also really missed you guys.
Su Mengyao hugged Lin Xiaoqian and kissed her a few times. Lin Chen also hugged Su Mengyao a bit.
"Mom, we met two big bad guys,"
Lin Xiaoqian said.
Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen, who said, "It was the Wu family, the two of them. I don't know what they wanted with me." Su Mengyao didn't know that the Wu family wanted Wu Haoyu to be released early. He and Su Guofeng had kept this from her.
Su Mengyao said, "Wu Yangqing still wants to find me.
I haven't seen him. Do you think he'll wait for you at our house?"
Lin Chen shook his head and said, "The airport exit.
I'll meet them tomorrow and see what they're up to."
Su Mengyao, "Honey, there's nothing to talk about with the Wu family,"
she said and let Lin Xiaoxi down. "Sisai, go play over there for a while, Mommy and Daddy want to talk." Lin Xiaoxi nodded. She ran to the toy area in the corner of the CEO's office. "Honey, there's something I'm a little worried about," Su Mengyao whispered.
Wu Haoyu spent a lot of time getting sentenced back then, and he was sentenced to 3 years in prison, and he'll only be out in a few months.
After 3 years in prison, will he behave himself when he gets out? I'm afraid he'll still do you and Cici harm. Lin Chen took Su Mengyao's hand and said, "Wife, why are you worried about us and not yourself?"
Su Mengyao said, "He won't target me.
The Zhao family has withdrawn, and the Zhao family's shares have been eaten up by several other families, and those families all have considerable power in the officialdom.
They don't have particularly large amounts of money, and they care about the shares they obtain. I'm the president of the Su Group, and if anything happens to me, the company's stock price will definitely decrease."
Lin Chen nodded slightly. Su Mengyao's explanation was very reasonable. "Honey, the Wu family wouldn't want Wu Haoyu to get out early, would they?" Su Mengyao's face changed slightly and she said suddenly. Chapter 197 Lin Chen meets Wu Yangqing.
Lin Chen said, "They will definitely think this way, but Wu Haoyu's wish to get out early is just wishful thinking. He should first honestly serve his full 3 years inside."
Su Mengyao, "Honey, can I come with you tomorrow?" Lin Chen shook his head. "You take Sisai, I'll meet them tomorrow and see what they want to do." "Okay." Su Mengyao didn't insist.
Lin Chen should be safe meeting the Wu family alone, and even if the Wu family wanted to target Lin Chen, they would do it secretly and not mess around openly. Soon Su Mengyao packed up and Lin Chen and the others went home together. After getting into the car, Lin Xiaoxian said with a little smugness, "Mom, I'm even better at math than before."
Su Mengyao looked back. "Xiaoqian, is that true? Then Mom will test you. What's 5 plus 7? It's 12. Mom, your question is too easy." Lin Xiaoqian answered without even thinking. Su Mengyao's eyes showed surprise.
Lin Xiaoqian was also able to figure it out before Lin Chen and the others left, but for a question like this, she would still need to do some calculations.
"Honey, what's going on?"
Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen and asked in confusion.
Lin Chen laughed and said, "Cece's math talent has improved.
I'll give Cece some questions to see how you feel." While driving, he started to give Lin Xiaoxi questions, and Su Mengyao was soon shocked. It took her a long time to solve those questions. However, Lin Xiaoxi could directly give the answers to some questions. For more difficult questions, Lin Xiaoxi needed to do some calculations, but she was also very fast.
"Honey, this." Su Mengyao couldn't believe it.
In just a few days, Lin Xiaoxi's math had completely transformed.
Lin Chen laughed and said, "Math mainly depends on talent.
I've said that Xiaoxi has very strong talent, just waiting to be developed."
"Honey, do you think I can be developed?" Su Mengyao asked.
Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao and said, "Honey, you can be developed in many ways in the future, but even if you call me dad, you won't get my genes."
Su Mengyao. "It feels like you're driving,"
Su Mengyao said crossly.
Lin Chen gently patted the steering wheel. "Honey, you don't need to feel it, I'm obviously driving." Su Mengyao.
Lin Xiaoxi in the back row said, "Dad, you're asking a question again."
"Okay."
Lin Chen continued to ask questions. He asked Lin Xiaoxi questions to teach her, gain mathematical experience, and improve his own mathematical level.
Su Mengyao listened quietly. She was also silently doing some calculations in her mind.
But most of the time, before she could finish, Lin Xiaoxi had already done it, and she was very frustrated. Fortunately, she still had her child and her husband, and when she thought about that, Su Mengyao felt much better. After the massage, Wu Yangqing still felt pain in his hand. This kind of pain wouldn't make him scream, but the constant itchiness and pain was really unpleasant.
"Uncle, you rest well, it should be better tomorrow. When we get to the hotel," Wu Jinhui said.
Wu Yangqing nodded. "Yunhui, we can say whatever we want in private, but after you meet Lin Chen tomorrow, don't say anything rash. Lin Chen is a bit unfathomable these days."
"Uncle, he's unfathomable?" Wu Yunhui said.
"Wu Yangqing,
there are some things you don't know, and I can't tell you. Just do as I say." Lin Chen has the National Security Bureau by his side, and he can't say anything.
He has signed a confidentiality agreement, and if he violates it, he might even go to jail if he is found out.
"Uncle, I understand." Wu Yunhui nodded. Gradually, it got late at night, and Wu Yangqing tossed and turned, unable to sleep. His hand hurt even more in the middle of the night.
"Yunhui, go buy me some painkillers.
And some sleeping pills too."
Wu Yangqing called Wu Yunhui, who lived next door.
"Uncle, is it still painful?"
"It's even more painful, so painful that I can't sleep," Wu Yangqing said with a grimace.
"I'll go right away."
Half an hour later, after taking the painkiller and sleeping pill, Wu Yangqing finally fell asleep.
But the next morning, he woke up again with the pain in his palm. "Damn it!" Wu Yangqing's face was extremely grim.
It was better in the morning than in the middle of the night, but the pain was still very obvious.
It was about the same as it was during the day yesterday. Drip. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Wu Yangqing called Lin Chen, and they were in a tea house near Ziyuan community. Half an hour later, Lin Chen arrived at the tea house leisurely. "President Wu, I've kept you waiting."
Lin Chen entered the private room and said with a smile.
Wu Yangqing stared at Lin Chen and said sternly, "Lin Chen, you pinched my hand and hurt it, how are you going to deal with this?" Lin Chen said doubtfully, "President Wu, I hurt your hand? When did that happen? Don't make things up."
"Yesterday." Lin Chen said, "We just shook hands. I have a little more strength than normal people, but President Wu, you can't just make this up. If I really hurt your hand, you can call the police and we can go to the hospital for an appraisal."
Wu Yangqing's mouth twitched. The hospital won't be able to tell.
But the pain in his palm was absolutely real.
"Lin Chen, don't be too arrogant." Wu Yunhui couldn't help but speak up.
Lin Chen looked at Wu Yunhui and said indifferently, "Your father had someone break into my house and hired internet trolls to try to blackmail me."
Who is being arrogant in this situation? Yunhui, don't say anything.
Wu Yongqing said sternly, "Lin Chen, I won't let you out early. Regarding my brother's matter, you have to give in and help reduce my brother's sentence."
Lin Chen sneered and said, "Why should I help you? Su Mengyao doesn't know that how you will be released early, does she?"
"If she knows, it might affect her,"
Wu Yongqing said indifferently. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Wu, you're threatening me." Wu Yongqing shook his head. "I'm not threatening you. If this gets out of hand, some news will definitely be impossible to hide. I'm just kindly reminding you." Lin Chen sneered. "Wu Haoyu, don't even think about getting out early."
Wu Yongchang, "Lin Chen, your family is ordinary, but you are protected by people around you, and you are strong. I think you should have had a strange encounter and a powerful backing. But our Wu family is not a soft persimmon.
And there are also powerful forces behind our Wu family. We don't need to fight to the death." "What do you say?"
"How you can apply for a reduction of sentence, and it is very reasonable to use his not being given a sentence reduction in exchange for my brother serving less time in prison." Lin Chen said indifferently, "Since Wu Yangfeng did those things, he has to bear the corresponding consequences."
"If you are capable of getting your son's sentence reduced, go ahead. Let's have a good fight."
Wu Yongqing's face looked terrible.
"Lin Chen, do you have to completely break face?"
Lin Chen sneered, "For some of the things your Wu family has done, do you Wu family still have the face to do it?"
"Wu Yongchang, whatever means you have, just go ahead."
Lin Chen was not satisfied with just Wu Haoyu serving 3 years in prison.
He wanted to take down the entire Wu family.
"Lin Chen, don't give your face to shameless people. You can be so arrogant because you have people behind you, but that is not your strength, nor is it the strength of your family.
If the people behind you stop supporting you, the Su family alone will not be able to fight against the Song family," Wu Yunhui said sternly.
Wu Yongqing's face changed slightly.
"Song family?"
Lin Chen said with a smile.
Chapter 198, The Wu family is behind the Song family? Wu Yongqing glared at Wu Yunhui. The Song family requested confidentiality, but Wu Yunhui actually blurted it out.
"Lin Chen, the Song family is much stronger than our Wu family, and much stronger than the Su family. You will get into big trouble if you offend the Song family," Wu Yongqing said in a deep voice. Lin Chen laughed and said, "I don't have a grudge with the Song family, so why would I offend them?
Maybe I can befriend the Song family and work together against your Wu family." Wu Yongqing. "Lin Chen, you don't know the Song family, do you?"
Wu Yunhui sneered, "It seems that you really don't have much background, and you may just be lucky to have someone to rely on. You should know that if you keep causing trouble for the big guy behind you, he might abandon you."
Lin Chen laughed. "Isn't this situation quite similar to your Wu family? If you keep causing trouble, the Song family might abandon your Wu family. President Wu, if you say anything to Meng Yao, then I will go to the Song family, and we will hurt each other." Lin Chen finished and stood up. "Let's stop here. There's nothing more to talk about with you." Wu Yongqing said in a deep voice, "Lin Chen, are you really unwilling to back down? You promised to help my younger brother, Haoyu, not to reduce his sentence, and our Wu family will give you another 10 million. The Su family's money is the Su family's, and yours is yours." Lin Chen said indifferently, "They broke the law, and it is better for them to honestly accept the sanctions." "Goodbye," Lin Chen said and left. The two watched Lin Chen from the window until he reached the tea house. Wu Yunhui cursed, "Damn it, this son of a bitch, who does he think he is, and what gives him the right to be so arrogant?" Wu Yongqing, "Yunhui, why did you impulsively mention the Song family?" I thought mentioning the Song family would put pressure on him. I was hoping that this would get my father out of jail 2 or 3 years sooner," Wu Yunhui said. He was not purely impulsive just now. If his father were to serve 5 years in prison, it would also have a big impact on him. Saying the Song family's name would affect the entire Wu family, but if it could get his father out 2 or 3 years earlier, it would not be bad for him. Wu Yongqing gave Wu Yunhui a deep look. Wu Yunhui could not say much for his father. "Don't say anything in front of Su Mengyao. If we don't say anything, Lin Chen shouldn't have mentioned the Song family. If the Song family knows that we exposed them like this, they will definitely think something," Wu Yongqing reminded him. "Uncle, I know." Wu Yunhui nodded. Lin Chen's face downstairs revealed a faint smile.
Although he had left the tea house, he used his inner strength to enhance his hearing, and he could hear what Wu Yangchang and the others were saying. Su Mengyao already had a guess, but it would be better for Su Mengyao if the Wu family didn't blabber in front of her. The further back in time it goes, the less of an impact these things will have on her.
Drip. Lin Chen's phone suddenly rang. It was Chen Jian calling.
He had made a reservation for a meal, which was supposed to be last week, but Lin Chen had something to do and pushed it to this week, specifically tomorrow.
Hello, Mr. Chen. Lin Chen answered the phone. Chen Jian's hearty voice came over the phone. Master Lin, are you sure about tomorrow's meal?
If you're not sure, it's fine to postpone it a few days.
Mr. Chen, I'm sure. Lin Chen said. Chen Jian, Master Lin, I'll see you tomorrow. There will only be the two of us, my father and I, and the food will be delivered tomorrow morning.
Okay. After hanging up the phone, Chen Jian told his father the good news.
Good, good. Jian, we'll go over there today. Chen Xinghua, Chen Jian's father, said excitedly.
He had been a big fan of Ling Yu before, and Chen Jian had brought back the painting Haina by Chuan.
Seeing the calligraphy, Chen Xinghua was even more impressed. Chen Xinghua was now eager to meet his idol. Dad, I'll buy the plane ticket right now. Chen Jian said.
We can go for lunch tomorrow, or we can go in the morning, but Chen Xinghua didn't want anything to go wrong and delay the trip. If he goes early, he can rest assured.
Ahem.
Lin Chen was cooking in the kitchen and heard Lin Xiaoxi cough. He quickly walked out of the kitchen.
Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen helplessly. Honey, I'll take Sisai down to play. Sisai and the girls are diving into the pit. Will she catch a cold like this?
Lin Chen examined Lin Xiaoxi. It's possible that her feet were wet and she got sweaty playing. When she got home, the air conditioning at home made her catch a cold.
Don't worry, honey.
It's been a while since she caught a cold, and her constitution is still better than before.
Lin Chen said.
Su Mengyao, she hasn't seen Nan Nan and the girls for a few days.
Nan Nan and Kiki are down there, and they're playing more wildly. Well, it's okay, don't worry.
Lin Chen smiled reassuringly, saying that since Shishi had caught a cold, she would have to eat a different lunch. Honey, you'll have to stay and play with Shishi a little longer, so lunch will be about 10 minutes late.
An hour or so passed.
Lin Xiaoxi fell asleep after eating and taking her medicine. From time to time, the sound of her coughing could be heard in the room.
Honey, I've been so careless.
You've been able to take care of Shishi for so long, but she caught a cold after just half a day with me.
Su Mengyao said, blaming herself. Lin Chen opened his arms and embraced Su Mengyao. Honey, I'm a doctor, and you're not. Isn't it normal that I'm better at these things than you? Cece's coughing sounds heart-wrenching, but she'll be fine. Su Mengyao nodded slightly. Honey, what were you talking about with Wu Yangchang and the others?
Lin Chen, they want to give me 10 million in exchange for me saying some good words for them so that Wu Yangfeng can serve less than 2 years in prison.
Honey, do you know the Song family? Su Mengyao nodded. I know. Her face changed slightly. The Wu family is backed by the Song family? Yes. Lin Chen nodded.
Wu Yunhui said it, trying to use the Song family to pressure me, but I don't even know the Song family. Su Mengyao said, according to some people, our Su family is considered a wealthy family, but it's not the top kind. The top wealthy families have assets of over 100 billion.
The Song family is the top wealthy family.
No one in their family is actually on the wealth list, but the entire family is much richer than our Su family.
And the Song family is not just rich.
As Su Mengyao said this, a worried look appeared in her eyes.
Lin Chen asked, how much are the Song family's assets? Su Mengyao shook her head, I'm not sure.
At this level, the Song family will not show off their wealth, but will instead use various means to hide it. Their wealth is not limited to the country, and it is not even limited to the Song family itself. Lin Chen was a little confused. Su Mengyao explained, for example, a person may not be related to the Song family on the surface, but he may be the illegitimate child of someone in the Song family. With the help of the Song family, this kind of person may also have a lot of wealth, but it will not be counted as part of the Song family's wealth.
I know the child of an actress is someone in the Song family.
The media reports that the actress and her husband are very much in love, but they should break up peacefully in a couple of years.
Lin Chen, playing so smoothly?
Su Mengyao, this kind of thing is very common among the wealthy.
Honey, if you keep your hands lower, I won't let you hug me. Her face turned red. Lin Chen coughed lightly. I couldn't help it. Chapter 199, Academician Chen's Shock. A top research institution.
Chen Guoxiang nervously watched the progress of the experiment. He redesigned the experiment based on Lin Chen's theory, and is now using the experiment to verify whether Lin Chen's theory is correct.
Gradually, the experiment reached 70% of its progress.
In the past, they would fail at this stage of the experiment, consuming 3-4 million yuan each time, and 13 failures would cost tens of millions of yuan.
Chen Guoxiang felt a pang of pain. 75%. Chen Guoxiang's eyes lit up with excitement.
This was a height they had never reached before, and they had reached it in the first experiment.
And the experiment had not failed. 80%, 85%. The experiment was further advanced.
But when the progress of the experiment reached 90%, a shrill sound rang out, and the fire on the unmanned experiment table burst into flames.
The experiment failed. Crash. Loud voices sounded around.
Although this experiment failed, the new ideas and the fact that it had made such progress for the first time were very good. There is probably nothing wrong with the theory, but there are still some problems in the design or implementation process.
Collect the data.
Chen Guoxiang said in a low voice. He needs all kinds of data to redesign.
Good, Academician Chen. Chen Guoxiang's assistant next to him said.
Chen Guoxiang went to his office and dialed Yang Lin's number. Yang Shuji, I would like to have a face-to-face exchange with Academician Lin.
Yang Lin was stunned at the other end of the phone. Academician Lin? Chen Guoxiang, could it be that the Lin who contacted me is not an academician?
His depth of knowledge has reached the level of an academician, and his breadth of knowledge is much stronger than mine.
He is definitely qualified to be assessed as an academician. Yang Lin said, I don't know if he is an academician, Academician Chen. I'm afraid you won't be able to communicate with him face to face. I don't even know his identity now. Yang, you help me apply.
My experiment has made very good progress. If I can communicate with him face to face, I should be able to succeed.
Chen Guoxiang said. Yang Lin, well.
I can apply, but whether it will work is a problem.
I don't think it's likely. Chen Guoxiang, Yang, then I need to disclose some data to him and see if he can give his opinion. This will save the country money. Can you ask him if it's okay to disclose the data to him? Yang Lin agreed.
Half an hour later, Yang Lin called back, Academician Chen, you can't meet with him for the time being, but there's no problem with you sending him the information.
Okay.
A few hours later, Chen Guoxiang sent the information to Lin Chen.
The email address Lin Chen used was no longer a normal email address. It was given to him by the National Security Agency to protect him. Ahem.
Lin Chen was on his side, massaging Lin Xiaoqian.
Ancient Chinese medical experience kept flooding into his mind. He was already very strong as a master of ancient Chinese medicine, but that wasn't enough.
There were many illnesses that couldn't be solved with this strength.
Half an hour passed and Lin Xiaoqian fell asleep.
But even when she fell asleep, she coughed from time to time.
Husband, Xiaoqian is doing well with what she eats and uses, but why is her constitution so poor?
Su Mengyao said with some sadness.
Lin Chen said, eating well doesn't necessarily mean having a good constitution. Basic nutrition can be guaranteed for children nowadays. Children in rural areas with poorer conditions often have better constitutions. Physical fitness is largely related to innate factors and genetics. You must have had a lot of psychological problems when you were pregnant, and whether you ate well or not was a problem. Under these circumstances, it would be strange if Cici's innate physical fitness was good. Su Mengyao said with a depressed voice, I really often had no appetite before. It seems that the main reason is me.
Lin Chen comforted, don't take the blame blindly. Given your situation back then, it was already Cici's fortune and also my fortune that she was able to come into this world.
Cici's physical fitness will gradually improve with conditioning. Even if she gets sick, I'm still here for her, right?
Su Mengyao took the initiative to hug Lin Chen. Honey, you're so good.
In the past, I was so worried when Cici got sick. Now, I'm not so worried when she gets sick.
Lin Chen stroked Su Mengyao's hair. People eat all kinds of food, so it's normal to get sick. If someone doesn't get sick for a long time, it's more likely for something to happen.
Honey, why don't you sleep in the second bedroom?
That way, I can take care of Cici if she gets sick at night.
Su Mengyao blushed slightly and said, Honey, it's okay to sleep together occasionally at home, I just won't change into my pajamas.
Lin Chen, honey, although I want to sleep together, Cece is coughing, so you won't sleep well at night either.
Let's sleep together again when Cece gets better.
You go to bed with Cece first, I'll come and replace you later.
Su Mengyao nodded lightly.
After taking a shower, Lin Chen went to the study. After updating a fairy tale, Lin Chen opened his mailbox.
Ha!
He discovered that academician Chen had sent him a lot of experimental data. This data covered many areas. It required a deep understanding of 1 or 2 dozen disciplines. As a master of aircraft manufacturing, Lin Chen's knowledge was comprehensive and quite deep.
He could easily understand the experimental data sent by academician Chen. Academician Chen, try doing it this way. 2 or 3 hours later, Lin Chen gave his opinion. The night passed. The first thing Chen Guoxian did when he arrived at the office was turn on the computer. He had given a lot of information, and Lin Chen should not have given his opinion so quickly, but he still had some expectations. Ha! Chen Guoxian was stunned when he saw Lin Chen's reply email. Lin Chen had already given his opinion. He looked at the time, and Lin Chen had returned at a little after 11 last night, only a few hours after he had sent the email. The information covered all aspects, and Lin Chen had read it so quickly and given his opinion so quickly. Academician Lin is even stronger than I expected.
Chen Guoxian muttered to himself. He carefully read Lin Chen's reply. The information in it required careful thought, and there were some things he would have to look up or ask the other experts.
Shishi, you and your mother stay at home. No snacks, okay? Dad will bring something nice back for lunch.
Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoxi. He had already treated Lin Xiaoxi in the morning.
MMM.
Lin Xiaoshan nodded obediently. Mom, I have a cold and can't kiss Dad, so you kiss Dad for me.
Su Mengyao gave Lin Chen a hug. She kissed Lin Chen on the cheek.
Hugs and kisses on the cheek, she is used to it now. 20 minutes later, Lin Chen arrived at the private kitchen.
Chen Jian and Chen Xinghua were already there. President Chen, Mr. Chen.
Lin Chen greeted them with a smile.
Chen Xinghua said excitedly, Master Lin, I've finally met you. I'm the leader of one of your fan clubs.
Our fan club now has nearly 100,000 people.
Lin Chen's eyes revealed surprise. So many? Chen Xinghua, we have dozens of groups, each with 2,000 people. Master Lin, everyone wants you to start a Weibo or Douyin account. Old Chen, let's talk about that later.
Lin Chen said, if my identity is dug up, I won't be able to relax, and I still need to take care of the baby.
Chapter 200, Did Shishi do this question?
After 2 or 3 hours, Lin Chen had prepared a table of dishes.
Master Lin, wasn't there supposed to be 10 dishes? Chen Jian looked at the table in surprise.
Lin Chen had prepared 12 dishes for their table. Lin Chen said, President Chen, it was my fault that it was delayed, so I made 2 more dishes for you.
The takeaway boxes are in the cabinet, you can take away any that you can't finish. Shen Lao, Master Lin, you should eat with us. We've brought some good wine, so we can enjoy it together.
Lin Chen shook his head, Shen Lao, I won't eat with you.
My wife and daughter are waiting for me at home. Enjoy your meal.
Lin Chen quickly left after saying this, taking the lunchbox with him.
Shen Jian said, Dad, I guess we don't have a close enough friendship.
If we did, Master Lin would have stayed and eaten with us.
HM. Shen Lao nodded with regret. They quickly began to eat.
They were stunned when the food reached their mouths. They felt that the leftovers they had eaten before were the supreme delicacy, and now, compared to them, the leftovers were much worse. This was partly due to the leftovers, and partly due to Lin Chen's cooking skills, which were still improving.
Dad, what do you think? Chen Xian asked. Shen Lao, I tasted 2 more dishes, peerless delicacy, unimaginable that food could be so delicious.
Such food is $1 million a table, too cheap.
Chen Jian nodded.
I used to think $1 million a table was expensive, but now I realize that for $1 million a table, Master Lin is just making friends, or perhaps Master Lin just wants to have a threshold.
Now I just hope that threshold can be higher. Old Chen, son, I think we can book another table, right? It's hard to say. Chen Jian shook his head. 3 or 5 tables a month is too little. If I can book a table, I will try my best to book a table.
In the future, it will definitely be more and more difficult to book a table.
Chen Lao simulated, if you can help the Su family's business, you can help. You and Su Guofeng can get in touch more. Chen Jian's eyes lit up. Su Guofeng only has one daughter, Su Mengyao, and his future is Su Mengyao's.
Helping the Su family, Lin Chen's chances of being selected in the future should be higher.
Pour the wine, I'll have a drink. Chen Xinghua said.
He actually doesn't drink much anymore, but today there is such good food, it's missing something without wine.
Drip.
After Lin Chen and Su Mengyao Lin Xiaoxi finished eating, the phone rang.
It was Su Guofeng calling, and Lin Chen quickly answered, Dad, what's up?
Su Guofeng said on the other end of the line, Lin Chen, Chen Jian, the CEO of Chen's company, called me and said he wants to invite me to dinner.
Our family and the Chen family haven't had much contact in the past.
Lin Chen laughed and said, the CEO is not a bad person.
If he takes the initiative to invite you to dinner, just accept his invitation. Su Guofeng asked, Chen Zong is your relationship, is it appropriate for me to have dinner with Chen Zong?
Lin Chen froze for a moment. Dad, we are family, so we don't need to worry about this.
I'm afraid you'll take away his relationship.
Su Guofeng coughed lightly, I can't take it away, but Chen Zong is your relationship, so I still have to say something.
Since you don't think it's a problem, I agree with him. Dad, in the future, you don't need to ask me about this.
The Su group will become even stronger in the future, and Meng Yao and Xi will benefit.
Why would I disagree? Lin Chen said. Su Guofeng laughed on the other end of the phone, that's true. But I still need to tell you. Maybe there are some people you don't want to get too close to. Is Xi asleep?
Lin Chen looked out onto the balcony. Not yet, Xi and Meng Yao are on the balcony. I'll give the phone to Meng Yao so they can talk to you. Lin Chen quickly handed the phone to Su Meng Yao. When he finished washing the dishes, Su Meng Yao had already hung up the phone. Honey, Mom and Dad miss Sisai.
Sisai is sick, and they said they'll come over in the afternoon to see her. Lin Sisai giggled, Mom, Grandpa and Grandma must really want to eat the food Dad cooks. Su Meng Yao. Sisai, what a truth teller you are. Honey, you'll have to work hard again tonight. Is there anything I can do to help?
Lin Chen's eyes twinkled, I'll be busy for 2 or 3 hours in the morning, and my back will be sore.
Why don't you give me a massage? Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen.
His back pain should be fake.
Lin Chen can carry them up Mount Tai and cook for 2 or 3 hours like this?
He wants her to massage him for real.
Then lie down on the sofa. Got it. Lin Chen smiled and lay down on the sofa.
Su Mengyao helped Lin Chen with the massage, and Lin Xiaoxi watched for a while and said, Dad, I'll help you too. Then she pounded her little fists on Lin Chen's shoulders. Su Mengyao massaged his shoulders while Lin Xiaoxi pounded his waist.
Lin Chen lay comfortably and felt very much at ease. In the afternoon, Su Guofeng and the others came over.
Lin Xiaoxi was studying mathematics when they arrived.
Cici, where are you, my dear? Su Mengyao opened the door and Su Guofeng and the others came in. Grandma and Grandpa. Lin Xiaoxi ran happily towards Su Guofeng and the others. Cici, Grandpa will carry you. Cici, Grandma has the strength now, Grandma will carry you. Yang Qingyue rushed to pick up Lin Xiaoxi. Dad, Mom.
Lin Chen greeted with a smile. Lin Xiaoxi said in a baby voice, Grandpa and Grandma, I got one question wrong in the problem that Dad gave me.
Grandpa will teach you.
Su Guofeng said with a smile. 2 minutes later, Su Guofeng saw the question that Lin Xiaoxi had done. He was a little confused.
Grandpa, how do you do this question? Lin Xiaoxi asked. Lin Chen went to the kitchen to cook, and Su Guofeng called Su Mengyao over. Mengyao, are you sure this is for Xiaoxi? She is only a little over 2 years old, how can she do this? Su Mengyao nodded. Su Guofeng looked at the question again. He was a little doubtful about life.
The question that Lin Xiaoxi had done, he actually needed to think carefully before he could possibly do it.
I've got it.
Suddenly, Lin Xiaoxi's eyes lit up and she started writing. Lin Chen's calligraphy was at the legendary level, and Lin Xiaoxi's talent in calligraphy was not bad. She could write all the Chinese characters that were not very complicated, and she had no problem writing numbers. After Lin Xiaoxi finished writing, Su Guofeng also calculated it out, and he was surprised to find that Lin Xiaoxi's calculation was correct.
Mengyao, what's going on? Su Guofeng looked at his wife Su Mengyao next to him.
Su Mengyao, my husband said that Xi has a strong talent in mathematics, so he kept teaching Xi to explore her talent in mathematics. Lin Chen has a strong talent in mathematics, and Xi should have inherited it.
Su Guofeng said in surprise, Lin Chen is very good at mathematics?
They knew that Lin Chen was good at calligraphy, painting, fairy tale creation, and cooking, but they didn't know that Lin Chen was very good at mathematics. Su Mengyao said, "He's pretty good at math, but I'm not sure exactly how good he is."
I've never asked.
An hour later, Lin Chen finished cooking. The wine was passed around 3 times.
Su Guofeng curiously asked, Lin Chen, she is very good at math. What level are you at now?
Lin Chen laughed and said, "I'm not sure exactly, but I guess I can be among the best in the world."
Chapter 201, Mom, I want a brother and sister.
Su Guofeng and the others looked at Lin Chen in shock. Achieving a high level of drawing, calligraphy, and cooking requires talent, but achieving a high level of mathematics is an absolute crushing of intelligence.
Honey, who is better at mathematics, you or the online Weishan?
The lectures he gives are like the book of heaven.
Su Mengyao asked curiously.
Lin Chen smiled and said, "He is very good, but I should still be slightly better than him now."
Weishan is very good, but he is just hanging on.
His mathematical skills are now at the level of a grandmaster, and he is definitely in the top 10 in the world.
Weishan is far from being this strong. Dad is the best, he. Lin Xiaoxi said happily. Yang Qingyue, Xiaolin, when you reach such a level in mathematics, does it make others feel that you are mentally handicapped? Su Guofeng. This question is a bit heart-wrenching. He just didn't do the problem as fast as Lin Xiaoxi. Lin Chen shook his head, no. Everyone has their own strengths, and mine is just a little bit stronger. Su Guofeng asked, Lin Chen, she wasn't this good at math before, can math talent still be improved? Isn't talent something that is innate?
Lin Chen thought about it and explained, Dad, you should have heard this saying, that a child suddenly gets it and their grades suddenly improve at a certain stage, right?
Some children just suddenly understand and love learning. But some really do have a sudden awakening and their talent improves. Su Guofeng, there is indeed such a saying.
Lin Chen laughed, the human brain is underutilized, and brain development, learning, or stimulation may all increase the utilization rate of the brain.
If the utilization rate of the brain increases, doesn't that mean talent improves? Su Guofeng coughed lightly, can someone like me still improve? If I can, I want to improve too. He was still a little shocked that he couldn't even do math problems as well as a 2 or 3-year-old.
Su Mengyao, Dad, I asked Lin Chen, and it seems that Shishi's improvement has a lot to do with her genetics. We're just afraid that there's no hope for us.
Su Guofeng felt a little regret.
Yang Qingyue said, Lin Xiaochen, since it has a lot to do with genetics, it's hard for other people's children to improve, right?
Lin Chen nodded. If his skills improve, Lin Xiaoqian's talent will also improve, but not others. Explaining it with genetics is the best way.
In this way, some bigwigs won't try to push their children on him in the future. He is happy to teach his precious daughter, but not other people's children.
Yang Qingyue smiled, that's good.
In this way, Cici will have a great advantage over others.
Cici, do you want a brother or sister?
Lin Xiaoqian's eyes lit up, Grandma, I want one.
Kiki said her mother has a baby in her tummy. Mom, do you have a baby in your tummy?
I want a brother or sister.
Su Mengyao.
She hasn't even had sex with Lin Chen yet, so where would there be a baby? Yang Qingyue laughed, Linsen, Mengyao, if Shishi wants a brother or sister, you guys just have to work hard. It would be a shame to only have one child with such good genes.
Lin Chen nodded with a smile.
Naturally, he would have no objections.
Su Mengyao pouted, Mom, it's still too early to talk about this.
Besides, Shishi doesn't understand it yet, and maybe her thoughts will change when she grows up a bit.
Shishi's thoughts are indeed the most important. Lin Chen smiled and said, Dad, I'd like to toast you.
After dinner, Lin Chen was about to wash the dishes, but Yang Qingyue drove him out of the kitchen. Linsen, you cooked the meal, I'll do the dishes.
I'm better now, and moving around is good for my body.
Lin Chen, come with me for a moment.
Su Guofeng called Lin Chen to the study. Dad, what's the matter? Su Guofeng said, Mengyao said Wu Yangqing came to see you? Lin Chen nodded. Su Guofeng lowered his voice, Lin Chen, does Mengyao know that the Wu family is preparing to let Wu Haoyu get out early?
Lin Chen, I didn't say it, and the Wu family didn't say it either, but Mengyao guessed that it might be the case. As long as Wu Haoyu doesn't get out early, this shouldn't have a big impact. Su Guofeng's eyes flashed with cold light, Wu Yangqing still wants to talk to me.
I haven't seen him.
What did he tell you? Wu Yangfeng is likely to be sentenced to 5 years in prison. He asked me to let him off lightly in this regard, and use Wu Haoyu's sentence not being reduced in exchange for Wu Yangfeng being sentenced 2 years less.
I didn't agree.
Lin Chendao said that even if Wu Yangfeng was sentenced to 5 years, Wu Haoyu would not be able to get an early release.
Su Guofeng nodded.
Lin Chendao continued, the Song family is behind the Wu family, and Wu Yunhui either let it slip or deliberately told them.
I promised not to expose it, and they promised not to talk about it. Song family? Su Guofeng's expression was solemn.
Lin Chen had talked to Su Mengyao about it, but she hadn't yet told Su Guofeng.
Are you sure? Lin Chen nodded, it should be true.
The Wu family, with their strength, wouldn't dare to falsely implicate the Song family. Su Guofeng pondered, the Wu family is backed by the Song family, but we have no direct grudge with the Song family, there is no need for us to go against the Song family.
Do you understand this?
Lin Chen laughed and said, Dad, I'm not stupid.
If we go against the Song family, won't Wu Yancheng and the others laugh themselves crazy?
Our best option is to make the Song family our friends.
I'm glad you understand.
I'm just afraid that you're young and impetuous.
Su Guofeng let out a sigh of relief.
Lin Chen said, becoming friends is the best. If we can't become friends, and the Song family must be our enemy, then we must first try to improve ourselves as much as possible.
Su Guofeng nodded.
Drip.
Lin Chen's phone suddenly rang, and it was Chen Jian calling. What's the good news, Mr. Chen? Lin Chen asked as he answered the call. Chen Jian laughed on the other end of the line, Master Lin, we want to make a reservation for next month, is that possible?
Lin Chen, there are already several for next month, it depends. But Mr. Chen is the head of my fan club, even if you don't get a reservation next month, you'll definitely be fine next month.
Chen Jian was delighted. Master Lin, thank you very much. Master Lin, I'll recommend a client to you.
Their family is very powerful in both the political and business worlds.
Chen Jian said.
Lin Chen, Mr. Chen, even if the other party is powerful, they may not be willing to spend $1 million on a meal. If the other party is not a target customer, don't force it.
Master Lin, his daughter has anorexia.
She used to be a pretty girl, but now she's so thin she's lost her shape.
I estimate that his daughter only weighs 50-60 kilograms now.
I was shocked when I saw her last time.
Chen Jian said.
Lin Chen muttered to himself, this kind of person is his target customer. The other party has a strong demand for connections to be stable. If the other party just spends a little money on a meal and is not particularly fond of food, this kind of connection is useless.
Mr. Chen, who is the person you introduced? Chen Jian, it's Song Qingchuan, the third master of the Song family, and his daughter is Song Wan.
Lin Chen was stunned.
Song Qingchuan? This Song Qingchuan can't be the one from the Song family, right? After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen asked Su Guofeng, Dad, isn't the third master of the Song family named Song Qingchuan? Yes, why? Su Guofeng asked doubtfully. Chapter 202, the confidentiality level has been raised. Lin Chen laughed and said, what a coincidence. President Chen recommended a client to me, and he is Song Qingchuan, the third master of the Song family. Su Guofeng's eyes revealed a look of surprise. Chen Jian had just recommended someone from the Song family. Dad, who are the important people in the Song family? Su Guofeng, the patriarch of the Song family, is still alive, in his 80s. He has 3 sons. The eldest, Song Shiais, is the family head, and he is in charge of most of the Song family's affairs. The second son is Song Shikong, and the third is Song Qingchuan. Lin Chen froze for a moment. Didn't Song Qingchuan and Song Shiais have the same mother? Su Guofeng nodded. The original wife of the old master Song died of illness, and he remarried in his 30s. His second wife gave birth to Song Qingchuan, and the 3 Song brothers got along with each other quite well. At least on the surface. Lin Chen mused, the Song family has so many assets, there is enough to go around for the 3 brothers, but as long as anyone has any ideas, the 3 brothers may not necessarily get along. It would be good if they didn't get along. Lin Chen thought to himself. If the 3 Song brothers work together, if the Song family wants to target him, he will definitely have a lot more trouble in the future. Dad, if I get close to Song Qingchuan, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Lin Chen asked. It should be a good thing. Su Guofeng said after a moment's consideration. If the 3 brothers get along well, and you get along well with Song Qingchuan, you will get along well with the rest of the Song family.
If the three brothers don't get along well, and you get along well with Song Qingchuan, you will be able to attack and defend at the same time. If Song Shiais wants to be our enemy, you will support Song Qingchuan, and if Song Shiais doesn't want to be our enemy, he will probably try to win you over. Lin Chen nodded. The patriarch of the Song family is still alive, so Song Shiais should maintain a good relationship with us. Su Guofeng smiled slightly. As long as the patriarch of the Song family is alive, the three brothers should not have internal conflicts. Lin Chen, then let's first establish a good relationship with the Song family, and first find a way to severely suppress the Wu family. Let's first make the Wu family die and be crippled. Hangzhou City, Song Qingchuan lives here. Mr. Chen, what brings you here? Song Qingchuan greeted Chen Jian with a hearty smile. He and Chen Jian had met many times, but their relationship was not particularly good. Song Qingchuan wondered in his heart why Chen Jian had suddenly come to visit him at home. Mr. Song, long time no see. Chen Jian said with a smile. The two quickly went inside Song Qingchuan's villa. Mr. Song, is your daughter home? Chen Jian asked as soon as he sat down. What do you mean by asking this, Chen? Song Qingchuan's eyes grew noticeably colder. His daughter was 17 years old, 1.65 meters tall, and was originally a very pretty girl, but she suffered from anorexia and now weighed less than 60 kilograms. The whole person could be described as completely skinny. His daughter was his Achilles heel, and he didn't want anyone to mention it, or to feel sympathy for them. Chen Jian said, Mr. Song, don't get me wrong. I came here today to tell you that there is someone who cooks incredibly delicious food, and your daughter might like it. Maybe after a few meals she can return to normal. Song Qingchuan's expression eased slightly. Mr. Chen, I'm afraid it won't work. I've tried countless cuisines from around the world on her. Song Qingchuan shook his head. Chen Jian said, I've also eaten a lot of fine cuisine, but after having Master Lin's food, even if it's a state banquet, my evaluation of it is very, very average. Ha? Song Qingchuan's eyes showed surprise. Is it really that delicious? Chen Jian nodded, absolutely delicious. Master Lin only prepares 3 to 5 tables of food each month, and he provides the ingredients himself. The production cost of each table is 1 million. But the 1 million is extremely worthwhile. Song Qingchuan was puzzled, only 3 to 5 tables each month? Yes. Each table has 10 dishes, and they can be taken away. In this way, one person can eat 10 meals from each table. Chen Jian said. Song Qingchuan, can't you pay more to get more? Chen Jian shook his head. Master Lin doesn't lack money. Master Lin's wife's family has tens of billions, and he doesn't have that much himself, but he can't spend all his money in a lifetime. Each guest can recommend a guest. I know about your daughter's situation and recommended you. Song Zong, you might as well give it a try. Song Qingchuan, my daughter doesn't really want to go out. Chen Zong, can you contact the other party and ask them to come to my house? The reward can be increased. Chen Jian shook his head and said, Mr. Song, no. I had the same idea before, but I didn't want my father to run around. In the end, I went with my father to eat. My father was very satisfied. If you want what's best for your daughter, don't be forceful. Forcing Master Lin will definitely not lead to a good outcome. Song Qingchuan, what's Master Lin's name? Master Lin is Lin Chen. He's very young, only in his 20s. Chen Jian said. Song Qingchuan's eyes showed surprise, so young? Mr. Chen, he is so young and his cooking is so good, so there shouldn't be any problems with his food, right? Song, don't worry, it's absolutely safe. Chen Jian said. Song Qingchuan nodded. Mr. Chen, I'm relieved to hear you say that. Mr. Chen, give me Lin Chen's contact information. Chen Jian said Lin Chen's phone number. Song, I hope you get what you want. Chen Jian got up to say goodbye and leave. Song Qingchuan quickly dialed Lin Chen's phone. Mr. Lin, this is Song Qingchuan. Mr. Chen asked me to contact you and said that you can make a lunch reservation at your place. What time can I make the reservation? Lin Chen's eyes showed surprise. Chen Jian should have said his name. From Song Qingchuan's tone, it was likely that he did not know about him and the Wu family. Mr. Song, 3 days from now. Try to prepare the ingredients your daughter used to like. Lin Chen said. Okay. Mr. Lin, I'll see you in 3 days. There will be 3 of us there, my wife, my daughter, and I. My daughter's situation is a bit special, she doesn't want to meet outsiders.
Lin Chen, Mr. Song, you can come a little later.
I'll leave before 11:55, so you can come between 11:55 and 12 o'clock.
Mr. Lin, thank you for understanding.
After hanging up the phone, Song Qingxuan sighed, saying that it was no small feat to convince his daughter to leave the house.
Chen Guoxian's laboratory. The progress of the experiment, 90%, 91%, 92%.
The supercomputer reports the progress in real time.
Chen Guoxiang stares intently.
If the experiment succeeds, it will prove Lin Chen's theory correct, and this theory will have an impact on many aspects of the country. Pointing out the correct path will save the country a lot of money and the time of many researchers.
99%. 100%. The experiment is over, and it was a success. Phew.
Chen Guoxiang let out a long sigh of relief.
Wow.
The crowd around him burst into applause. Despite the fact that the experiment had failed more than 10 times, the success was worth it.
Collect all the data immediately. This experiment is very important, so everyone must keep it a secret.
Chen Guoxiang said sternly.
Back in his office, Chen Guoxiang made a phone call. Yang, the experiment was successful. It was carried out according to the instructions of Academician Lin. Yang was moved. Academician Chen, you followed Mr. Lin's instructions?
Yes. After I failed, I raised some doubts, and Mr. Lin replied to me within just a few hours.
His overall level of expertise is much higher than mine. Chen Guoxiang said. Academician Chen, are you trying to? Chen Guoxiang replied, Yang, I can't take credit for this. The credit for this success belongs to Academician Lin. Yang, Academician Chen, I will report this to the higher-ups.
Soon, he reported the situation to his superiors.
Boss, I have a situation to report.
Director Dong reported the situation to the higher-ups again. Lin Chen's confidentiality level may need to be raised.
10 minutes passed. Director Dong inquired.
He found that he could not check on Lin Chen with his authority.
Chapter 203, The State is Here. At noon, Su Mengyao went to the company.
Lin Xiaoxian took a nap, and Lin Chen stayed at home reading a book.
Ding dong. The doorbell rang.
Lin Chen opened the door, and outside was a middle-aged man. The other person was wearing casual clothes, but Lin Chen could sense a solemn air from him.
Hello, who are you? Lin Chen inquired. The middle-aged man smiled and said, Mr. Lin, I'm from the imperial capital. I have something I want to discuss with you. How about I come into the room and talk to you? Please come in. You don't need to take off your shoes, I clean every day. Lin Chen said.
The middle-aged man entered the living room and saw a book on the coffee table about research on high-energy weapons.
Mr. Lin, you are extremely talented.
The higher-ups would like to invite you to join a top research institution, which will provide you with various resources.
I wonder what your intentions are.
The middle-aged man said.
Lin Chen looked at the other person.
There should be no problem with the other person's identity, otherwise the country would have intercepted him.
Sorry. I have no interest in joining these institutions.
Lin Chen shook his head and said. Mr. Lin, the authorities will give you great support, and your annual research funding will not be less than 1 billion yuan.
You will also have access to cutting-edge theories and the most sophisticated equipment.
The middle-aged man persuaded him. Lin Chen, I can earn 1 billion yuan on my own, and as for cutting-edge theories, perhaps the theories I will propose in the future will be the most cutting-edge. The most important thing for me now is to take care of my daughter. The middle-aged man said, Mr. Lin, if you join a top scientific research institution, your daughter Lin Xiaoxi will definitely receive the best education.
Lin Chen smiled.
What she needs now is not the best education, but the love from her father. The middle-aged man wanted to say more. Lin Chen raised his hand to stop him and said, Don't persuade me anymore. If our country is now very poor and backward, and the country is facing a life or death crisis, then I will definitely choose the country.
If the country breaks down, the family will be gone.
But now our country is not that bad, and the country's security is guaranteed.
It's okay to develop slowly.
She can't wait, she is growing up day by day. The middle-aged man said after a moment of silence, Mr. Lin, the higher-ups actually just told me to ask, so I took the liberty of persuading you a bit more. Mr. Lin, your security clearance has been upgraded to the highest level, and someone will come to modify the wiring here. In addition, you will be provided with a dedicated computer and mobile phone, which only you can use.
Lin Chen, can I make any other requests? Mr. Lin, please go ahead.
Lin Chen said, I need books on aircraft manufacturing, some of which are not easy to find on the market. The middle-aged man thought for a moment and said, this should be possible.
We'll install a special bookcase for you.
The outside of the bookcase is made of wood, while the inside is made of high-strength alloy. The bookcase will have hidden spaces for confidential books and materials.
I need to go to your study to take a look. Lin Chen led the middle-aged man into the study. Mr. Lin, are you interested in aircraft manufacturing?
The middle-aged man glanced at the books.
Lin Chen's bookcase was full of books on aircraft manufacturing. I'm afraid of death. Once I was on a plane and it broke down.
At the time, I thought it would be great if I could fix it, so I looked for some books to learn from.
Lin Chen said.
The middle-aged man nodded. He knew about the plane failure that time.
Mr. Lin, do you still want this bed?
If you install another bookcase, you'll have to remove this bed. The middle-aged man asked.
Remove it. Lin Chen Dao. The middle-aged man nodded. We will carry out special treatment on the entire room to ensure that no one can eavesdrop on this room. We will also replace the door to this room and the main door for you. Lin Chen Dao, is this really necessary?
The middle-aged man nodded. Mr. Lin, your confidentiality level is now S level, and the security measures are in place. By the way, Mr. Lin, if you go on a long trip like last time, you'd better let us know in advance.
Save my number, you can contact me directly. I will be your exclusive security consultant from now on. Lin Chen said, I still don't know your name. I belong to a special department, and I haven't had a name since I joined. My code name is Tian Lang, you can call me that.
The middle-aged man said.
Lin Chen saved Tian Lang's mobile phone number. Mr. Lin, someone will come in the afternoon.
The network, sound insulation, etc. will be dealt with in the afternoon, and your computer and mobile phone will be replaced. Someone will come to measure the doors and bookcases, and they will be installed in 3 days at the latest.
Tian Lang said.
Lin Chen nodded, thank you, you have worked hard.
We are also following orders. Tian Lang left quickly.
It wasn't long before the telecommunications people came over and started to overhaul the network in Lin Chen's building.
In fact, no one else's network was touched. It was just a dedicated and secure network for Lin Chen. She woke up. I'll take Sisai out. You can come to my house. Lin Chen sent a message to Tian Lang. He hugged Lin Sisai and went to the shops outside the community.
A dozen workers arrived at Lin Chen's house and they quickly got to work. Lin Chen's wooden floors were all lifted up. The workers first laid down a bulletproof composite material, and then laid down special soundproofing material.
The wall covering on the walls was also ripped off.
The same safety treatments such as bulletproofing and soundproofing were also carried out.
Several hours passed.
Lin Chen and the others returned home. The study looked the same as before, but the security level of this study was already very different. The brand new computer was also incomparable to the original one. When the windows and doors are replaced, his study will be equivalent to a safe house, and it will be much safer to hide in it if he encounters an attack.
Honey, you got a new computer?
Su Mengyao said in surprise when she arrived at the study in the evening.
Lin Chen nodded, the state replaced it.
The floor and walls of the study have been treated for safety. My dear, the doors and windows in the study will soon be replaced with bulletproof ones as well. In the future, if you and Cici are at home and you encounter danger, you can hide in the study.
Su Mengyao nodded.
She guessed that Lin Chen's security level had been raised. She didn't ask what the specific reason was. My dear, the Cici Charity Foundation will officially start operating tomorrow.
Do you want to go take a look tomorrow? Su Mengyao asked.
Lin Chen shook his head, I'm not going to go. Just make sure someone manages it well and that the money is used for the right things. Every child helped must have a file, and any expense can be traced.
Su Mengyao nodded.
Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao with a smile. Mengyao, we have a more important matter now.
What is it? Su Mengyao asked doubtfully.
Lin Chen hugged Su Mengyao and said, to take wedding photos. You can't get the wedding photos right away after taking them.
Where do you want to go to take them? Chapter 204, Sisai's Fairy Tale House. Su Menyao's eyes showed a longing expression. Honey, I want to go to Ely to take wedding photos, is that okay?
Lin Chen smiled and said, of course it's fine, as long as you're free, we can go anytime.
Su Mengyao thought for a moment. Let's wait 10 more days.
It's not the most beautiful time in Ely yet, and in another 10 or 15 days it should be about right. I'll hurry up and take care of some things at the company recently.
Lin Chen nodded. He said with a smile, then I can improve my photography skills, and I can take your portrait. Su Mengyao, honey, there's something else. You promised Shishi that you would build her a fairy tale house. When will you do it?
Tomorrow she should be better from her cold, and all the materials should arrive tomorrow, so I'll start tomorrow.
Lin Chen said with a smile. Su Mengyao, do you need to send Shishi to her parents?
Lin Chen shook his head. There's no need to send her, Shishi is very sensible and won't do anything.
It's also fun for her to participate in the construction process. Time passed quickly and the next day arrived.
All the materials that Lin Chen had ordered were delivered. Although the construction of the fairy tale house had not yet begun, he knew exactly what the whole house needed. His construction skills were now at the master level. With his level of skill, he could even build skyscrapers.
Dad, what are these for?
Lin Xiaoxi asked as she watched Lin Chen unpack the large packages one after the other.
Lin Chen smiled and said, Cici, guess. It's related to you.
Lin Xiaoqian thought for a moment and said happily, Dad, I know, it's to build a little house, right?
Yes. How about building you a little house for a little dwarf?
Lin Chen teased Lin Xiaoqian. Lin Xiaoqian shook her head repeatedly, Dad, no. I don't want a little house for a little dwarf, I want a little house for a little elf.
I'm an elf, not a little dwarf. Then you have to kiss me. And you have to study hard and not be naughty. Lin Chen laughed.
Lin Chen is now squatting, and Lin Xiaoxi gives him a kiss on the head. Daddy, I'll be very good.
Then let's get started. Here's your phone, you can also take pictures to record.
Take good pictures, don't make Daddy look ugly.
Lin Chen said, and gave Lin Xiaoxi the phone.
Soon he started working. And while he was working, he was giving Lin Xiaoxi pointers. His instructions included how to build the house, as well as how to find the angle when Lin Xiaoxi took pictures.
A few minutes passed.
Lin Chen began to gain experience. And he gained experience in taking pictures and building at the same time. In the morning, Lin Chen's building and photography experience both increased by 3 hours. In the afternoon, Lin Xiaoxi woke up, and the two of them worked enthusiastically again.
In the evening, Su Mengyao returned home.
She was surprised to find that the fairy tale house was almost complete, and the main structure was expected to be finished tomorrow.
Hubby, so soon? Su Mengyao exclaimed in amazement. Lin Chen said, to accommodate the photographer, we've slowed down the pace.
The materials are basically custom made, and the factory took care of them when they were delivered.
Mom, I'm the photographer. Lin Xiaoxi said in a baby voice. Su Mengyao picked up Lin Xiaoxi and said, Xiaoxi, are you happy that Daddy is building the fairy tale house with you?
Lin Xiaoqian nodded repeatedly.
Su Mengyao laughed, you are happy, but Dad has been helping you build this. What are we going to eat tonight?
Lin Xiaoqian looked at Lin Chen. Lin Chen smiled, dinner is already cooked, I'll just stir-fry a few dishes.
We'll eat dinner late these 2 days, we have to hurry and build the house during the day. The permitted construction time in the afternoon is from 2 to 6. Lin Xiaoqian didn't wake up until almost 3.
Therefore, the actual construction time in the afternoon was only 3 hours.
Time passed quickly and it was the next morning.
Host, your photography skills have been upgraded to master level. The system voice sounded in Lin Chen's mind, and a lot of information about photography flooded into Lin Chen's mind. Lin Chen's face revealed a faint smile.
Master level is pretty good. This level is completely sufficient for taking photos of Su Mengyao in the future.
There are not many people in the entire country of Hua who have reached master level in photography.
System, how much do I still need to build my skills to reach Grandmaster level? Lin Chen asked in his mind. It was still 1.5 hours short.
Unbeknownst to him, it was already afternoon, and only some finishing touches remained on the main body of the fairy tale house. Host, your construction skill has reached the Grandmaster level. The system prompt finally sounded again. A large amount of construction information flooded into Lin Chen's mind. Lin Chen inspected it with the eyes of a grandmaster, and there was nothing wrong with the fairy tale house. For such a fairy tale house, the grandmaster level of skill was already overkill.
CC, what do you think?
Lin Chen quickly finished the finishing touches. Lin Xiaoxi looked at the fairy tale house carefully. Daddy, it's not as nice as the fairy tale house you drew. Before starting, Lin Chan drew a rendering.
The rendering of the fairy tale house was magnificent.
Lin Chen laughed, because it hasn't been decorated yet.
Daddy will draw pictures to decorate it in time. It will be very beautiful when it's completely done. Lin Xiaoxi nodded repeatedly. Knock, knock.
The bedroom door was knocked at this time. Lin Chen opened the door and a man outside said, Mr. Lin, the doors and windows have been replaced. The bookcase has also been installed.
Lin Chen went to the study.
The door of the study looked ordinary and could be pushed open easily, but it had blast resistance. The original bed in the study had been removed. A large bookcase had been added to the room, and the new bookcase could hold quite a lot more books than the original one.
Mr. Lin, slide open this cover. This can verify fingerprints and irises. You can enter now. In the future, only you can open it.
The worker who came over explained.
Lin Chen quickly entered his fingerprints and irises. Mr. Lin, we'll go first.
Okay.
The workers left quickly. Lin Xiaoqian asked doubtfully, Dad, why did you replace the original door?
Lin Chen kissed Lin Xiaoqian and said, Cici, because this door is safer.
If there are bad people at home in the future, you can hide in this room. Understand?
Lin Xiaoqian nodded dazedly.
Let's go, Dad will take you out to play. You've been cooped up at home for a few days, you must be bored.
Lin Chen said with a smile.
Lin Xiaoqian's eyes lit up, Dad, I want to go to the playground.
Cici, you can go to the amusement park, but if we go to the amusement park, we can only eat dinner outside. Lin Xiaoqian nodded after a moment of hesitation. Dad, the food outside is not delicious, but I won't be picky.
Then let's go.
Lin Chen and Lin Xiaoqian set off quickly.
2 hours passed.
Host, your skills in flying and climbing walls have reached the master level. The system's voice sounded in Lin Chen's mind.
Lin Chen's eyes lit up. Finally, I've reached master level. It wasn't easy. It took 20 hours to master wall running.
A lot of information flooded into Lin Chen's mind. The muscles and meridians in Lin Chen's legs were undergoing subtle changes. System, I now have internal strength and have reached master level in wall running.
Can I do wall running now? Lin Chen asked in his mind. System, host, ordinary wall walking is fine.
Lin Chen's face revealed a faint smile. With the master level wall walking skill, he would be much safer. Enemies would find it difficult to track him in complex terrain, and even on flat ground, his agility would increase by a lot.
Chapter 205 Husband, you're not allowed to look around. 9 o'clock in the evening.
Lin Xiaoqian fell asleep, and Su Mengyao returned home. In order to go to Ili in time, she has had to work overtime recently. Only the light in the second bedroom was on at home. Su Mengyao arrived at the door of the bedroom, and she saw Lin Chen painting intently.
Husband. Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen lovingly.
Lin Chen looked quite handsome in his serious manner.
Eh?
Lin Chen responded, looked at Su Mengyao, and she said that the fairy tale house wasn't pretty yet, and that I had to work overtime tonight, so you should go to bed early after your bath, wife.
Su Mengyao came closer, I think it's very pretty. Lin Chen, that's because I've already painted some of it.
When it wasn't painted, it was just the color of the wood, and it really wasn't very pretty.
I'll work on it tonight and surprise Shishi tomorrow. Su Mengyao quickly finished her bath. She cut up a plate of fruit and brought it to Lin Chen. Honey, have some fruit.
Su Mengyao held a piece of fruit on a fork and handed it to Lin Chen. Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao. He froze and didn't open his mouth at first. Su Mengyao's pajamas after the shower were quite loose, and Lin Chen was now high above the fairy tale hut, looking down, and he saw a very, very good view.
Honey, open your mouth. Su Mengyao said.
Oh. Lin Chen quickly opened his mouth and bit into the cantaloupe. Su Mengyao lowered her head to wipe the second piece for Lin Chen. She suddenly realized something and her face quickly turned red.
You bad guy, you're not allowed to look around.
Su Mengyao said coquettishly. Although she said that, she still fed the second piece of cantaloupe to Lin Chen. Lin Chen was her husband, and it was normal for him to look at her.
After all, she was wearing underwear underneath. Honey, I have to go to work tomorrow, and you have things to do too. Are you going to send Sisai to her grandparents' place? Su Mengyao tried to distract herself.
Lin Chen, let Sisai stay for a few more days. Although I used very environmentally friendly paint, it still needs to dry before it can be used. If she's at home, she'll probably be unable to resist going in.
She hasn't seen Yuan and the others for a while either. Let's spend some time together. Su Mengyao nodded with a blush.
You eat by yourself, honey, I'm leaving. Su Mengyao said shyly. She noticed that Lin Chen's eyes were not at all honest.
No. You've been working all day, and it's hard to come back and talk.
At worst, I'll take a loss and I'll look away a little.
Su Mengyao. She gave Lin Chen a wide-eyed glance.
Lin Chen said this, and she didn't walk away again. The night passed, and Lin Chen was busy all night. The entire fairy tale house, including the walls of the room, was decorated by Lin Chen, and the entire room was already beautiful.
Lin Chen's legendary level of painting skills is no bluff.
Entering this room, you will feel like you have stepped into a fairy tale, and living in a fairy tale house is even more so.
She, get up. If you don't get up, Mommy will have to go to work. Su Mengyao kissed Lin Xiaoxi's little face and said. Lin Xiaoxi opened her eyes and asked, Mom, did you see the little house that Dad made for me?
Yes, I did.
Lin Xiaoxi said sweetly, Mom, Dad is amazing. The little house Dad made is really pretty.
But Dad told me that you said it wasn't pretty.
Lin Xiaoxi shook her head and said, Mom, the little house isn't as pretty as the pictures Dad drew. But I like it very much too. Su Mengyao helped Lin Xiaoxi get dressed.
Lin Xiaoxi, hurry up and brush your teeth and wash your face.
Daddy has a surprise for you later.
Lin Chen's voice came from the living room.
Hurry up, Mom.
Lin Xiaoxian quickly finished brushing her teeth and washing her face.
What's the surprise, Daddy?
Lin Xiaoxian asked in a childish voice as she ran towards Lin Chen. Lin Chen picked Lin Xiaoxian up.
He went to the door of the second bedroom and opened it. Wow! Lin Xiaoxian exclaimed in surprise. Su Mengyao walked over.
She was also stunned when she saw the situation inside. She thought Lin Chen was just decorating the little house, but she didn't expect Lin Chen to decorate the entire room.
The three of them entered the room. Su Mengyao and Lin Xiaoxi were both affected.
They felt as if they had entered a fairy tale world.
After a while, they finally came back to their senses. Dad, it's so beautiful. Dad, I love you.
Lin Xiaoxi hugged Lin Chen's head and kissed him several times.
Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen. Honey, I feel like I just stepped into a fairy tale. Su Mengyao said in amazement.
Lin Chen laughed. The painting I drew has a bit of a special effect.
Daddy, I want to go in. I'm an elf, hee.
Lin Chen shook his head. Sisai, you can't go in today. The paint isn't dry yet, you can't go in for a couple of days. Go play at Grandpa and Grandma's for a couple of days.
Rong and the others miss you a lot. Lin Xiaoxi was stunned. Daddy, I can't go in? Lin Chen, that's right.
If you go in now, the paint might rub off and your little house won't look pretty.
Then I won't go in now. I want to protect my little house.
Lin Xiaoqian said earnestly. At noon, it was almost 11:50. Lin Chen was in the private kitchen, having prepared a table of food. When he left, he drove a Mercedes-Benz to the front door of the courtyard.
Song Qingxuan and his family of three got out of the car. Song Qingxuan looked at his daughter.
His eyes showed a heartbroken expression. In the past, his daughter was very healthy and cheerful.
Somehow she developed anorexia.
They had seen many doctors and had her eat all kinds of food.
None of it helped. His daughter Song Wan was getting thinner and thinner.
At 1.65 meters tall, she weighed about 100 pounds and had a very good figure. If she wanted to be a little thinner, 95 to 100 pounds would be good.
Anything less than 90 pounds would be too thin. Songwan now weighs less than 60 pounds.
Having become so thin, Songwan has gone from being sunny and cheerful to becoming increasingly withdrawn.
She now increasingly doesn't want to go out.
She should be in her third year of high school now. They have gone to a lot of trouble to persuade Songwan to come with them.
Dad, this is the last time. Don't persuade me to come out again in the future, I don't like it. Songwan said calmly.
She is still young, but her expression and words are very cold.
It's as if she doesn't care about anything in the world anymore. Let's go in and eat first. Songwan's mother helped Songwan into the courtyard. Gulu.
Entering the dining room, Songwan smelled the tempting fragrance, and her stomach cried out unconsciously.
This. Song Qingxuan was stunned. Husband, this Master Lin is amazing. Each of these dishes looks like a work of art. Song Qingxuan's wife said in amazement. Song Wan swallowed, the fragrance of the dish made her want to eat. Waner, you try it. Song Qingxuan looked at Song Wan and said. Looks are secondary, the most important thing is that Song Wan eats. Song Wan's mother quickly served half a bowl of rice. Dad, Mom, you eat too. Song Wan said, picking up a dish. Song Qingxuan and his wife nervously looked at Song Wan. Chapter 206, this time, I'll kiss you. Song Wan's hand trembled as she picked up a small piece of meat and brought it to her mouth. She carefully sniffed it. In the past, she loved to eat meat and couldn't be happy without it. But now, she would spit it out as soon as she put it in her mouth. She would spit out some that wasn't well done just by sniffing it. Song Qingxuan and the others stared at Song Wan intently. Song Wan's mother was ready to grab the trash can at any time. Gulyolu. Song Wan's throat moved and she swallowed. The fragrance of this piece of meat made her want to eat it. Waner, eat it. Song Qingxuan said with a heartache. Seeing his precious daughter become like this, he was heartbroken. The Song family's millions of wealth could not restore Song Wan. Song Wan slowly put the meat in her mouth. As before, the feeling of nausea and wanting to vomit did not appear. Song Qingxuan and the others' hearts were in their throats. Whether Song Wan could eat was extremely important. In her current condition, if she didn't eat something to replenish her energy, she might die. Song Qingxuan and the others did have a son, but they had invested more of their emotions in their daughter Song Wan. Song Wan slowly chewed with her teeth. She didn't feel that it was particularly delicious, but she felt that it was okay, and after chewing a few times, she swallowed it. Dad, Mom, you eat. The taste is okay. Song Wan looked at her parents and said. Song Wan's mother's eyes were filled with tears. It had been 2 years, and this was the first time Song Wan had eaten normally. In the past, she would vomit whatever she ate, and she would vomit even after eating fruit. If it weren't for the advanced medical technology nowadays, with Song Wan's condition, she would have already died. Wife, you eat a little. Song Qingxuan picked up some food for his wife. Waner, let's eat together. Song Wan's mother muttered excitedly, and as soon as she took a bite of the dish, she froze. Her taste buds had never experienced such an impact. Honey, this is delicious. You should try it. Song Wan's mother said. Song Qingxuan tried it, and he was also shocked. He had tasted countless delicacies, and he had also eaten at many state banquets, but never had a food given him such a feeling. This instantly surpassed all the delicacies he had ever tasted. Waner, try this again. These are all dishes you used to like very much. Song Wan's mother served another dish to Song Wan. Song Wan slowly ate it as well. The taste is okay. Song Wan nodded and said. Song Qingxuan and his wife glanced at each other. If Song Wan only said the taste was okay, no wonder she had thrown up those dishes before she even tasted them. Waner, if you can eat, you should eat more. Song Qingxuan said. Time passed by minute. Song Qingxuan and his wife only tasted a little of each dish. They knew that Lin Chen only cooked for 3 or 5 tables a month. Song Wan usually couldn't eat any rice, but today she barely managed to finish half a bowl of rice with some soup. With Song Wan's current health, half a bowl of rice and some vegetables was enough. Eating more would be bad. Mom and Dad, I'm full. You guys eat slowly. Song Wan said to her parents. After eating her fill, she felt much better. Song Qingxuan put down his chopsticks. Dad is full. Mom is full too. Song Wan's mother also put down her chopsticks and said. Song Wan was stunned and said, You didn't eat much, what you just ate is not as much as what I ate. Song Qingxuan, we'll take it home and eat it slowly. Song Wan said doubtfully, Is that really necessary? Dad, do we need to take it home? Is there a problem with the family finances? In the past, she didn't care at all. She spent most of her time every day cooped up in her room. Song Qingxuan shook his head. No, the family situation is very good. It's just that the dishes on the table were made by a master. Master Lin only prepares 3 to 5 tables of food each month. It's not easy to make a reservation for Master Lin's dishes. Someone said in silence for a while, Dad, so you don't eat much, you want to save some for me? Well. Song Qingxuan nodded slightly. Song Wan's mother said, Waner, it doesn't matter if we eat this or not, we will be very, very happy if you eat well. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. Song Wan whispered. Song Qingxuan hurriedly said, Waner, you don't have to say you're sorry. You didn't do it on purpose. You were sick. You should take care of your health first. Song Wan nodded.
Song Qingxuan and the others carefully packed up all the food, not spilling a drop of soup.
There were 10 dishes in total.
The amount of food they had eaten today was estimated to be a little more than one dish, with 8 more dishes left. Song Qingxuan calculated in his heart that, given Song Wan's condition, it would be enough to have half a dish of bibimbap for each meal, and that her weak stomach could now manage 2 meals a day.
Song Wan could eat these dishes for a week or so. Honey, can you ask Master Lin to make more for Waner? We'll pay more. $1 million per table is fine, we'll give him 10 million. Driving away, Song Wan's mother said. Song Qingxuan, I'll go meet Master Lin tomorrow. Honey, let's stay here in the Magic City for a while. Song Wan's mother nodded. They also had a house in the Magic City. Back at their home in the Magic City, Song Qingxuan quickly divided and froze the packed dishes. The dishes they chose were basically the kind that were suitable for freezing. Frozen and then thawed at a later time, the taste would definitely be a bit worse, but as long as Song Wan's could eat it, that was fine. Unconsciously, it was evening. Song Wan's mother took out a dish from the freezer. Each serving is basically half a plate's worth, and after they divide it up, each serving contains several kinds of vegetables. This way, the nutrition will be more balanced. Waner, you try it. After the food is heated, Song Qingxuan and his wife nervously look at Song Wan. Song Wan takes a small bite. She feels that the taste is a little worse than at lunch, but she can eat it. Dad, Mom, you eat too. Song Wan says. On the table, the nanny has prepared several other dishes. Good, good. Song Qingxuan was overjoyed. Wife, you eat first, I'll go get a bottle of wine. Song Wan had not drunk in a long time in this state. Husband, get me a wine glass too. Song Wan's mother said. She never drank, but now she wanted some. Lin Chen sighed. Lin Xiaoqian was not there, so Lin Chen prepared a candlelight dinner. Husband, thank you. Su Mengyao looked at Lin Chen tenderly in the candlelight. What are you thanking me for? Lin Chen asked. Su Mengyao muttered, thank you for being so good to me and Cece. Lin Chen said gently, you are my wife, and Cece is my daughter. If I'm not good to you, who am I good to? Is that all you have to say, my dear wife? Su Mengyao blushed slightly and said, then I'll kiss you. Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao. A kiss? Su Mengyao nodded lightly. Lin Chen looked at Su Mengyao with some concern. The last time Su Mengyao kissed him, she turned pale and her body trembled. Honey, should we wait a bit longer? Lin Chen asked. He didn't want Su Mengyao to experience that again. Su Mengyao plucked up her courage and said, honey, Cece is not here, so even if I overreact, it's fine. If I kiss you a few more times, I won't overreact anymore. Lin Chen smiled and said, then this time, I'll kiss you.